We make life easier.
It's time to start the program. It's time to earn our pay. It's time to meet the people on the Keeler Show today. It's time to read the news and weather. Time to figure out what to say. It's time to turn the channel of the Keeler Show today. Why do we always listen? Keeler's always in the know. It makes me want to call him and tell him where to go. And now let's get things started. Andrew, let's get things started.
It's time to get things started.
On the most sensational, inspirational, celebrational, Keelerational. This is what we call the Keeler Show.
WIBX 950 and 1069 FM. This is Keeler.
Boy, I got to tell you, feels nice outside, doesn't it?
It sure does.
I'll take this. And when you look at the long-term forecast, and for what that's worth, I don't know, right? I mean, you can go a week out and it can change. But as of right now, 30s and low 40s. 30s and low 40s. So, and I know the snowmobilers and the skiers of the world don't want to hear it, but that's what we currently are looking at. 30s and low 40s. Biden was in Syracuse over the weekend. Did you see the Blackhawks go over? Did you hear him go over?
I did not.
On Saturday, yeah. And then Air Force One landed at Hancock Airport. Apparently, from his first marriage, his in-laws still live in Syracuse, or the last of the family still lives in Syracuse. And his brother-in-law passed away last week. They held a funeral on Friday, but Biden came in, I'm assuming, for the funeral that was private on Saturday and then left in the afternoon. So no press, anything like that. It was all personal. He landed, spent about 2 or 3 hours and maybe 4 hours in Syracuse, and then left.
They didn't find any documents, did they?
Documents were scattered all over Hancock Airport. All secure. Or top secret. I don't know if that's true. But you never know, right? You just never know. Here we go with, I guess this is, we're in Super Bowl week, and then it'll be Valentine's week. As Davey says, NASCAR week. And that's what, the Indy 5? Is it the Indy or the Daytona?
Daytona.
Okay. And then over the weekend, Davey, Colgate losing their first game, and they currently hold a record for what? 23, 24 straight conference wins.
26.
26, and that's where the streak will end.
Yep. They had a 14-point lead against America. They ended up they just played sloppy, Bill.
I watched the first half, and then we had to go off. I was told it's time to go, says my wife. And they were up by, I don't know, 10, 11 points at that point. And then they were up by 14, and then they blew that lead. At home for American, though. I mean, you're playing at their place, and it's hard to keep a streak like this going, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It is a tough conference, and I almost wonder if, a Boeheim would do something like this. We need to lose a game. We're too confident right now. You got
well. I want to say that I would. I'm not sure that they would specifically lose, but I don't know that a loss is necessarily a bad thing, right?
Better said than the way I said it. Yeah.
Okay, we have. We'll talk about comedy this weekend. It's a Valentine's show at Fat Cats Comedy Club. Karen Rontowski is the headliner. She is phenomenally funny. and she also dabbles in the psychic world a little bit. So she'll take comedy and combine it with that. Perfect for the lady in your life. And it's at Fat Cats Comedy Club. We'll give away some tickets this week. Also, Will Phillips, who does afternoons on WOUR, when the weekend comes, he travels the country doing comedy. He's a stand-up comic, funny guy, and he'll open the show this weekend. So that's pretty cool as well.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And then before you know it, Jimmy Fallon will be in town. All 5 shows are sold out, just like that. Man. Although I will say that we might have an opportunity for you to.
Here we go.
Well, in this case, we'll be talking to Tim Reed at some point here this week, and Tim has a pair of tickets, and he can't go.
I thought you were going to say by Friday. I was imagining.
We're not adding another show.
By Friday. We've sold out all 9 shows this weekend.
I think I got to tell you, I know we could, but I'm not sure that we can ask for Jimmy to do another show. So I haven't even made the ask. But Tim has a pair of tickets, and it's for the Friday 7 p.m. show. And we're going to throw a whole bunch of other stuff in there and try to raise some money for Real Men Get Tested. It's very personal for both of us, but we feel that since COVID, a lot of people, guys especially, they've put off their testing. And in many cases, it was put off for them, right?
Yeah, right. Because of everything that's gone on over the past several
years. They couldn't, during COVID, you couldn't even get in to get those tests done. So we'll talk about that and give people an opportunity to make a bid. Highest bidder will get the tickets, and the show will be Friday night, the 17th. Of course, Jimmy will be in studio on the 17th during the morning, and then do his national show from noon until 3 in the afternoon. Pretty excited about that. Hello, Davey.
He took his son with him to Carson City this past week.
Oh, he did.
He put a picture of him on Facebook.
Kind of wondering what his surprise for us will be. Interesting. Very interesting. This morning we'll talk to County Legislator Tim Julian and get an update. He loves to come in and throw the bombs. Maybe not, though, these days. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll speak with the county legislator coming up. Gas prices could drop 20% this year. What's this story?
I don't know.
Where's it coming from?
I'm wondering if Joe Biden, in exchange for, I don't know, some oil executive who might have access to classified documents, he's saying, look, I'm going to let you drill in the ocean now, okay?
Maybe that's it.
Just hide the documents, okay? Burn them, shred them, something. But we will open up a pipeline or let you dig for the first time in my administration. I'm curious to know myself why it might come down 20%. Because the war's still going on, right? It was Russia's
going on.
hike, allegedly. That hasn't ended. So
the latest story out there on Governor Kathy Hochul and her tweaks to bail reform.
Okay.
So is it a good thing that progressives are livid and complaining about the tweaks to bail reform and how it's going to affect people?
Before I know the details, I would say generally yes, because I believe the very progressive members of the party think what we've seen unfold with bail reform and the experiment in New York State is a great thing. It's working as intended.
Correct. According to those who have pushed to make the changes, and that includes Sheriff Rob Mashel, DA Scott McNamara, they contend the governor's proposal would enable judges to use their discretion to set bail or remand someone to jail for offenses that are deemed serious, but that it could result in more individuals being incarcerated, according to progressives, incarcerated unnecessarily while awaiting trial. Of course, that view is rejected by people like Sheriff Mashel, Scott McNamara, and now the governor, which stands by its proposal to improve public safety. They said it is intended, among other reasons, to prevent the release of defendants who continue committing crimes while released on earlier charges and those accused of violent crimes.
All right. I want to be clear here. Don't take this as my position that I'm advocating for. This is Jeff Manaski, what he thinks about bail reform. But I do think maybe it's the progressives in this particular case bring up a good point. if the debate goes that bail cannot be and should not be punitive, it can only be for the purposes of ensuring that someone returns to answer a future charge. I just wonder how this plays out, because the idea is essentially you're alleged to have committed a crime, and then you're alleged to have committed another crime, so we're going to hold you now. That would seem kind of punitive.
You are making my point now. This is the point I've had all along. Not that I agree with this lenient policy, but I think the way to fix this is you have to define what bail is for. You have to change that definition. It can't be just for ensuring that someone is going to return to court. It should be beyond that. In some cases, we all know that bail was being used prior to bail reform. It was being used to keep even people who may have had some mental issues and may have been not so much as a danger to themselves as enough to be able to put them in the hospital, but maybe it's drug-related. And the thought was, and oftentimes families would appreciate the fact that their loved ones were put in jail because they'd be off the street and maybe get some help for an addiction. So it was being used for a whole plethora of things, and I do think you got to change the definition. That would handle the whole issue.
So if you took into account, for instance, we had a case locally. I don't want to use a local example. Okay, let's just say somebody committed some type of a robbery. I'm totally making this up. This isn't anything that happened locally. They commit a robbery. They cut and release. That's what we do now, like fishing. And then they're alleged to have committed another robbery, and the judge feels at this point, okay, then maybe this person is some type of a threat to the community, or they've got these other preceding allegations against them, so we can hold them on bail. So, but if you set bail at, I don't know, $2,500 and they get out, well, I'm just asking, as a member of the public, did bail help you in that regard? If the person was held for another 3 hours till they cleared bail, they're still out anyway.
And in some cases, you have on the drug issues, the way it used to be, is the family would not bail that person out.
Correct.
That's
a good point.
They had the means to do it, but they would not bail out that person because they realize they're better off inside the system. Even though there are drugs inside the system, they can hopefully begin their road to recovery. But then there still remains that issue, as you say, of the person who commits the robbery. Drugs are not an issue. It's not like the family wants this person incarcerated. Those with means get to bail out their person. Those without, that person sits in jail. So that problem, I don't think, is necessarily going to go away. But I would hope that in the cases where a person is of danger to someone or to themselves, that the judge would be able to say no bail.
Sure. And I guess if we continue to play this out in the example that I gave, what if there's a third arrest for a similar crime?
Right.
Then do you jack the bail up to, I said $2,500 the first time. Now is it $250,000? And at that point, would you argue that that's now punitive, right? Because the idea is you can't impose, I guess, sentences or something along the lines of a sentence.
Well, you're now punishing. And then this comes back around where the defense attorneys are saying, wait a minute, you are punishing these people when they have not been convicted of a crime.
Right.
So it is definitely a complex problem that needs some real fixing. But, maybe this helps a little bit.
Now, this is completely experimental here. I don't have any grounds for this. I'm just wondering what people think about this. So whatever the bail number is, let's say you're held on bail for charges that you are you'd have to be exonerated. It'd have to be more than a not guilty. But charges that you're exonerated of. What if we said the bail was, so we can keep you until your trial, right? And if you're convicted, that basically goes, that's your time served. So if your sentence is 8 years, they deduct what you've already served. But if you're exonerated, whatever your bail was, now the state owes you that money for holding you, right?
Well, the bail, I think, does get returned.
Well, the bail does, but
right.
I'm saying it would almost be like a wrongful imprisonment
right.
that I've been sitting in jail for 7 months.
We're going to give you we're giving your bail back times 2.
Yeah. Now watch.
So you'll earn some money.
Now they're going to say, yeah, jack up the bail.
Yeah,
Hold them on bail.
A completely different story. We're reaching that point. Sectionals, class tournament, in wrestling over the weekend. Sectionals, playoffs, basketball, and bowling. And here we go. In bowling, 2 Section 3 teams have advanced to the New York State Public High School Athletic Association State Tournament after clinching division titles on Sunday at the AMFF Strike and Spare Lanes. The state tournament takes place March 10th through the 12th. Division I winner New Hartford, along with Division II champion Camden, have earned the right to move forward.
Oh, congratulations.
So those are 2 schools that are...
those are the boys, girls?
I believe... I don't know. Is it a mixed sport or is it just boys?
I think they do men's and women's. You know, my sister is and was a very good bowler, especially in high school at Proctor. On the girls' bowling team, of course.
Bowlers are amazing people. They have their own balls. They bring them in a case. It's all a big,
You know, I have to confess, I'm
They
one
give
of
a little
those.
kick at the end. You do what? So you have your own ball.
Oh yeah, I got the. I saunter up there. I do the little slide. I got my own shoes. They're white shoes. They look.
I got
brand
to
new.
tell you, I like to get a good lighter ball. But the problem is the thumb is never big enough for me.
Yeah.
So I end up getting this like 25-pound ball that I can. I mean, what are the weights of these balls?
Yeah, like usually like obviously for kids like 6, 8, and 9, I think, and then once you become an adult, it's like 11, 12, maybe 14, 16, something in that range. I don't think there's an 18 or a 20-pound ball.
I end up getting the heaviest one. It's like I'm carrying this thing out there. And then, my thumb will get stuck. I'm not a very good bowler. Last night, the Grammys were on TV. I don't know if you watched any of it. I felt like I was more watching a foreign film. I didn't understand any of it. I mean, then, then all of a sudden some things happened that I knew, but it started off with the rabbit, the bunny, the...
Bad Bunny.
Bad
Oh,
Bunny.
Bad
And I'm like,
Bunny.
what the? And none of it was even in English, is how they started it off.
So
I was completely lost.
He wrestled in the WWE for a little while.
and he was just at
okay.
Citi Field or was on a promotional shoot doing something with a Mets jersey or a Mets uniform on.
I don't want to sound like I'm old, but I think I'm too old. My wife and I sat there and we're like, God, I don't know any of this. And then it kicked in, and then we at least we knew some stuff.
Smitty, do you know any Bad Bunny songs off the top of your head?
A lot of it is in Spanish, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only reason I
He's
ask
Puerto
is
Rican.
because
Is he Puerto Rican? Yeah, I think he is.
my roommate will still watch the wrestling pay-per-views and stuff.
Right.
And he had told me, he goes, dude, they got a rapper out here wrestling. And I'm like, who? Because I grew up listening to rap. And he goes, Bad Bunny. And I said, wait, there's a rapper named Bad Bunny?
Yeah. And came out, and so I immediately texted my daughter, do you know who this Bad Bunny is? And I just got an LOL back, and I don't know what that meant. Not sure what that meant.
That means laugh out loud,
Oh,
Bill.
right. Trevor Noah was the host. Here's a little montage of some of the winners to give you an idea of how out of touch we are.
For Best Pop Vocal Album.
And the Grammy goes to Harry's House. Harry, stop!
For Best R&B Song, Cuff It!
For Best Country Album, A Beautiful Time, Willie Nelson.
For the best duo or group performance, Unholy, Sam Smith and Kim Petras.
For Best Rap Album, Kendrick Lamar!
Best Dance and Electronic Album. As we are witnessing history tonight, breaking the record for the most Grammy wins of all time. It's Renaissance, Beyonce.
Best Pop Solo Performance, Adele.
For Song of the Year, Just Like That.
For Record of the Year, Lizzo for About Damn Time.
Album of the Year.
Harry Styles!
Well, I shockingly, I have to say, I knew a lot of what was on last night.
Yeah.
But the first 15 minutes, I was completely clueless with Bad Bunny.
I also think it's funny.
The hell is Bad Bunny?
If you look at some of the names of some of the artists who won in the younger generation genres, if you will, and then you go to Country Music Album of the Year, the winner is Willie Nelson.
Yeah, and it's funny. I wondered, was that such a big album Or is that one of these, hey, we want to thank Willie for all of his years of entertainment? I don't know.
He's got to conk off at some point, right? He's got to stop ticking at some point here. Let's have a nice goodbye to him.
He's now 87 years old and has a number of health issues. In fact, couldn't be at the Grammys last night, but almost seemed like he was going through problems. So, is he performing anymore, Davey?
He's doing a tour.
He is.
Yeah.
He had said he thinks that marijuana smoking saved his life. However, he now has emphysema.
Yeah.
So he does have breathing problems. So who knows? He survived a few health scares in his lifetime. In 1981, his lungs collapsed while swimming in Maui. In 2012, he actually canceled a concert in Denver because of health problems. It implied last night that he had some health issues and was unable to attend the Grammys last night.
It looks like his tour, by the way, is, I believe it starts February 24th. It runs through Memorial Day with several stops in Florida, Texas, California, and then Illinois.
Lawmakers in Tennessee have introduced a bill that would get rid of Columbus Day. But it would replace it with Super Bowl Monday. I think this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard, and I get it. If this is an issue, move the Super Bowl to Saturday.
So what is the issue? That it's right before a holiday?
The issue is Columbus Day is no. The issue is that it isn't current Super Bowl. There is no such thing as Super Bowl Monday.
Right.
However, everybody calls in sick on Monday. So in order to eliminate that, let's make Monday a holiday, the Monday after Super Bowl. And we'll solve that problem by getting rid of Columbus Day, which is controversial right now, solves all the problems, checks all the boxes.
Yeah, I don't know that it solves the problem. I think it creates a bigger issue.
I think it would be ridiculous. I mean, you don't. Do we have any holidays that are just after big events? I mean, you have New Year's Day, which is a huge celebration through history. Christmas Day, of course, is religious. I just don't see it. Here are some people in the Nashville area talking about it.
Most of the people are either hungover or they just don't want to come to work because the Super Bowl runs way into late hours. I think it'd be great.
Yeah. Well, I would participate in any day off.
Why do we keep coming up with holidays?
It almost seems like a backdoor way to cancel a real holiday.
Yeah, I guess I agree. Scientists out of Penn State University have invented a new smart diaper with sensors built into the paper that alert you when the diaper needs to be changed.
Okay.
Here is a commercial for Smarty, a diaper that sends a notification to your phone when the diaper is wet.
Smarty, a connected smart brief connecting real-time health information and sharing it instantaneously with caregivers and family members. It can alert the staff when a patient's brief or diaper is wet or soiled. Monitor for abnormal body movement, abnormalities in the urine, temperature changes, and more. The Bluetooth-enabled Smarty Puck attaches to a disposable adult brief or diaper with built-in sensors that detect conditions and provides alerts instantaneously.
Okay.
Look, that is quite amazing. I'm glad they explained, because my first thought was this would almost be like a single-use laptop, right?
Right.
Right, it's like this. There's a chip in here. There's some technology, but you're going to throw it out 4 minutes after the kid puts it on. So it sounds like you detach it from every disposable diaper and then reinsert it. I will say this: look, come on. If you're a parent and you can pay attention and get off TikTok for more than 10 minutes, you can monitor your child's dirty diaper. But I will say this: I found that very interesting. The ability to, I forget the language they use, sense abnormalities in the urine. And that's a way a lot of illnesses, I think, can be detected.
That's true. The other thing is maybe this alert should be on Depends, not on diapers,
That's
because
a good
of
point.
all we hear a lot of stuff about older adults who are basically can't take care of themselves and are in nursing homes, and they're sitting in their own urine and feces. Julie says, Smarty, why isn't it called Smarty Pants? I like that. And Mike this morning, besides on my bowling, besides wanting to have the smaller bowling ball, do you ask them to put up the bumpers too? Thank you for that, Mike. And I normally don't, but I have played with bumpers before.
Well, and
changes everything.
That's the problem, by the way, with when you don't have your own ball and you
You're right.
bowl somewhat frequently. You always it's either too heavy, too small. You can't get the fingers in. Then you find the ball you like.
Yeah.
But you show up there and somebody else has got your ball.
Correct.
Right. So
Right.
like, what are you going to do? Your whole strategy is off.
And this I thought was just unbelievably interesting. Doctors are claiming that an American man who never in his life has visited Ireland started speaking with an Irish accent after he was diagnosed with prostate cancer.
Look, if he was diagnosed with something in his brain, I could see this. But he's got prostate cancer now. Top of the morning to you.
Top of the morning to you. Here's the 50-year-old talking before and then after he found out about the cancer.
How do I love thee? Let me count the ways. Well, apparently about 1,400. Honey, I love you so very, very much. Thank you for all that you do for me.
Another birthday. Time to take the old guy oath. Raise your right hand, repeat the following. Being of questionable mind and aging body, do solemnly declare myself an old guy.
I don't think he sounds like he's doing that well of an Irish accent to begin with.
There is a little bit of a touch in there.
There
I
is.
think this is bogus. By the way, Mark chiming in says he speaks Irish after 10 pints. That's usually
I love it. And then and Wayne this morning, same thing. Do they come in adult diapers as well? And Wayne, our minds are on the same wavelength here this morning with
I mean, how much confidence do you have in parents if they can't monitor the dirty diaper themselves? But I think your point about seniors is great. Or I should say seniors. That depends.
Well, those people who can't take care of themselves that are in nursing homes. And then finally, a Michigan woman is being praised for returning. I'm going to ask you, this is your story. A Michigan woman is being praised for returning almost $15,000 that she found on the ground while walking to work.
Well,
now, the ground is that's kind of like open territory, isn't
well,
it?
again, if you'll remember, this is where this whole story started. It wasn't, it was on a trail somewhere, or if you're walking and you see some money lying on the road. There's a sucker born every day, and we're about to get this sucker's name right now.
Well, she brought back the $15,000 because of her generosity. People have raised tens of thousands of dollars to help her get a vehicle so she doesn't have to walk to work anymore. Here's Diane Gordon and Lieutenant Matthew Ivory talking about what happened and who the money actually belonged to. Here we go.
Looked down on the ground and found a plastic bag that had a large sum of money in it. This doesn't belong to me. I need to call a police officer.
It never really crossed our mind to do anything other than turn it over. Inside the bag was also wedding cards, so we come to find out that these are gifts from a wedding that had occurred that day. It was $14,780 worth of cash.
It's okay. I mean, it didn't belong to me.
Well, and through all of that, what she didn't know when she did that interview is that people were going to start raising money for her. And I don't know what it's up to, but they're saying it's up to tens of thousands, more than what she would have had in the bag of money. By the way, for somebody who has had his son's card basket stolen from a graduation party, we found the bin with the money in it, but the money had been taken, and so had the checks.
The example I always gave was unclaimed stack of money. Clearly, it's in this envelope or it's in this this plastic bag, and they're wedding cards. I mean, I would turn that in as well. Being 100% honest, this woman's not a sucker. I didn't know the whole story.
Over the weekend, President Biden actually was in upstate New York. We'll talk about that. Ryan Schmelz with Fox News right now. Ryan, good morning.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen. How are you? How was your weekend?
Good. We were very cold, but then the temperature rose incredibly yesterday.
Yeah, like 65 degrees in 4
crazy.
hours. Yeah.
It was lovely down here yesterday. Yeah, no, but it was a rough Friday and Saturday to say the least. That's for sure.
There's no doubt. Okay, Ryan, President Biden over the weekend. What do we know as he gets ready for the big State of the Union?
Was he picking up documents?
Right. Yeah. Well, I can tell you it was a pretty active weekend compared to what most weekends are like for President Biden. Obviously, it started on Friday where he kind of gave a speech to the Democratic National Committee winter meeting in Philadelphia. And in many ways, you could probably say this felt like a campaign speech. He hit on a lot of his greatest hits, the talking points about different legislative victories like the bipartisan infrastructure law, the CHIPS and Science Act, talked about the recent job numbers that just came down on Friday, and obviously very good numbers, and one that the president clearly has been trying to capitalize on, despite the fact that this balloon has kind of been hanging over as a cloud in many ways, too.
Yeah,
but ultimately that was shot down over the weekend. President Biden kind of answered some questions on that when he was in Hagerstown after he had departed from New York. But, yeah, the New York trip, mainly a family matter, but very, very low-key, not really any press involved with that. Kind of dealing with the death of his brother-in-law, from what we understand.
I literally, I certainly didn't see Air Force One. It did fly into Syracuse Hancock Airport, but the Blackhawks, just as Air Force One was coming in, the Blackhawks flew right over our house, and those are loud, rumbling helicopters.
Oh yeah,
that was
absolutely.
interesting. Yeah. Okay, to the balloon. This spy balloon, and this has got people second guessing everything. I'm of the belief that the military, it looks like Biden basically told the military to do what they had to do and to shoot it down, and it was the military's choice to not do it over land. However,
correct.
However, we're learning a lot where this thing may have been floating around prior to us even noticing it, number one. And number two, it's happened once before during the Biden administration and 2 times during the Trump administration, and we never heard a thing about those times.
Right. No, this is certainly there's been a lot of different information that keeps coming out about this balloon. And you're absolutely right. So based off of what President Biden told the press briefly while he was in Hagerstown, Maryland, was that, on Wednesday he was briefed on the balloon. He ordered the military to shoot it down as soon as possible. That's the words we have from him. And then ultimately they decided that they wanted to wait till it was above water and not above land to kind of reduce the risk of any civilian harm if, in fact, they shot it down. Then ultimately when it got off the coast of South Carolina, that's when that balloon was shot down. But then, yes, you have the information kind of coming out that apparently these balloons were there were several different balloons that were in the sky during the Trump administration, and just there was not really much fanfare behind them. So this is kind of one that's exploded in terms of the press coverage and everyone talking about, the level of security risk that this may have posed. And, this balloon crossed over quite a number of states. So you kind of see why so many people are talking about, what this balloon could have possibly seen if, in fact, it was what some people are worried about in being a Chinese spy balloon. But, China's been pretty adamant that it wasn't. But, I think the United States government, the American people, have hard times believing them.
So I'm always of this belief that we're not talking and we know more than we're letting on. And deep down, I'm hoping that this country's technology is good enough so that allowing it to fly, we were benefiting more than the Chinese were benefiting, learning from it. And that's my hope. Who knows? I guess we don't know, but certainly the military is not going to tell us everything when it comes to this. But on the ground, interestingly, it was not until it flew off the coast of South Carolina that the fighter jets, 2 of them, came in and shot it down. Our former producer lives in South Carolina, Stephanie, and she sent us some photos. It's amazing. This was being watched by the public. There were watching parties out there, especially off the Myrtle Beach area. And you saw the fight. You could see, I have photos she sent us. You could see the fighter jets swoop in and blow the thing out of the sky. It really was. And on the ground, people were chanting USA, USA. I mean, that's what was going on in South Carolina on Saturday.
Hey, a balloon can be a unifying force, not just at a children's birthday party.
That's absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, hey, I mean, like the point is, there's not really every day that you get to see, the United States military weapons in action like that, and actually doing, the job that they're able to do. And also when you factor in the fact that they're shooting down a piece of machinery and it's not, any type of human life. I think that adds to the spectacle. So,
yeah.
In many ways, I'm not. That doesn't shock me at all that people were taking advantage of the opportunity to see that go down.
Did we annihilate this thing and completely blow it up, or are we trying to retrieve it to find out what's... Okay, good.
Yeah. The attempt is.
The military is trying to retrieve it right now, from what I understand.
So the other part of this is how large this thing was, Ryan. It was enormous.
Yep, big enough for enough telescopes and other different cameras to be able to catch it while it was in the sky. So, I think it's going to be very interesting when they get back some of these parts and they're able to kind of brief the press on what exactly they found. I think obviously if there's anything that's a national security risk, they're usually sometimes limited if it involves any classified information, but at the same time, we're going to probably see if they're going to come forward and kind of describe what this was and what they find out about it, if in fact they're able to find anything.
Yeah. Okay, interesting stuff. I mean, when we talk about the size of this thing, like 2 or 3 full-size buses was a portion of it. I mean, that's pretty large flying through the sky. So
absolutely, yeah.
Very interesting. All right, Ryan, enjoy the day. Thank you so much.
Hey, absolutely. Talk to you guys tomorrow.
All right, Ryan Schmelz with Fox News. Pretty enormous, right? And Stephanie said they were, people were out on the beach chanting and on their backyards. It was really a sight to be seen.
Was this a situation also, I wonder, where the U.S. military or the Coast Guard had to get out there and kind of surround it because people on their, their private boats off the South Carolina coast were like, I'm going to race you to that, and we're going to find out what's in there.
Yeah, I'll find out what's in there. And then, Davey, what did Mike asking about Boeheim's press conference over the weekend? What did he this is after being criticized for being quite rude to the student reporter earlier in the week. What did Boeheim have to say?
They asked him if he was going to retire in the press conference. Then he says, "My time, when I want to go out, I'll go out." And then
I can go. I think he basically said, "I can go
whenever I want."
Whenever I want. That's the agreement I have with SU.
And then he said his team hasn't played well all season, which obviously they haven't.
And then Mike says, "And did you see how angry Peyton Manning got at the end of the flag football game? He was PO'd like a child that lost, and it didn't look staged. He looked really angry."
Really? He's a great actor. He really does some really funny things.
Yeah. That actually was Wayne. Sorry, Wayne. And then Mike had asked if we caught Jimmy B's press conference over the weekend. A lot of people out there piping in here this morning on this Monday morning.
He better be careful with the look, because he'll do it in a very smarmy way and upset somebody. I'm going to stay as long as I want, okay? You're not going to force me out. And he goes down this road too far. I think he could talk himself into some trouble. We've seen this happen before. Where someone says under... No, but I know. But when somebody says under no circumstances, I determine when I go, and then they dig something up, and he gets forced out.
Right.
He better be careful.
He did, though, because he talked about Wake Forest and Pitt buying into these teams into this NIL, like giving them boosters, giving players money into the transfer portal. But he rebutted his words later.
Well, especially when you got the guy there,
Adam Weisman,
that's claiming he's going to. Well, he's saying he's doing in response to what these other schools are doing. John, good morning, and some guy in the 540. They keep claiming we're doing so good with new jobs, yet everywhere you go has a help wanted sign and is understaffed or limits hours due to not enough workers. It's absolutely true. And that, I mean, yes, the unemployment numbers are low.
It's like 3.2%.
It's and lowest it's been in like 50 years.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of that has to do with there are people out there that just aren't working.
3.4%.
And it's a problem. And the economy is humming. There's no doubt about it. However, if you're on the ground and you're people like us, it's humming, yeah, with $5 tomatoes and eggs that cost you $8 and gasoline that's high. I mean, you're going to hear it at the State of the Union how great things are and the recovery is happening. But the reality is everyday Americans are not feeling it. And that's a problem for Joe Biden. News is next on WIBX.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX 950 Utica Rome, W295DI Utica Rome, your news, talk, and sports leader, a Town Square media station.
Turkey just got rocked again. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. An aftershock almost as powerful as the earthquake it followed. The 7.8 magnitude quake caused widespread destruction. At least 1,300 people are dead, more than 6,000 injured.
The quake was centered north of the southern Turkish city of Gaziantep, but buildings have been flattened on both sides of the nearby Syrian border. Residents rushed from their beds to escape shuddering homes. Many simply couldn't get out in time. Here, a rescue worker lies under precariously balanced concrete to speak to someone trapped in the rubble.
That's Fox's Jonathan Savage. China says the U.S. overreacted, shooting down their spy balloon Saturday off the South Carolina coast, where the Navy's working to recover pieces.
Which is expected to take days. We're told recovery efforts began not long after the balloon was shot down. The suspected spy balloon floated for at least a week through the continental U.S., passed over at least 5 sensitive U.S. military sites, including Malmstrom Air Force Base in Montana, home to one of 3 of the nation's nuclear missile silos.
Fox's Charles Watson in Myrtle Beach. Republicans are critical of the Biden administration response. Congressman Mike Turner tells NBC's Meet the Press.
This should never have been allowed to enter the United States, and it never should have been allowed to complete its mission.
Biden administration officials claim several Chinese balloons flew over the U.S. in the Trump era, but weren't detected until after that administration was out of office. They handed out the Grammys last night, and Beyonce stole the show on CBS.
Thank you so much. I'm trying not to be too emotional.
Beyonce broke the record for the most lifetime Grammy wins with 32, sound courtesy of the Recording Academy. She went into the night with the most nominations and the most Grammy Awards with 28.
That's Fox's Michelle Polito. Harry Styles won Album of the Year. Lizzo got Record of the Year. Bonnie Raitt Song of the Year. America's listening to Fox News.
How far will the left go to win 2024? Will they send out more stimulus checks, pass more student loan bailouts, or give away trillions more to left-wing groups? The simple truth is they don't care if your retirement is eroded down to a fraction of its value. They just want to win. Hi, Stephen K. Bannon. I want to encourage you to diversify your 401k or IRA out of paper assets and into a physical gold IRA. And the only company I recommend for gold IRAs is conservative-owned Birch Gold Group. To learn more, text the word PROTECT to 989898 to get their free info kit on gold IRAs. Do this now before Democrats have a chance to legislate away your life savings. Get your free info kit on gold IRAs by texting PROTECT to the number 989898. There's nothing to buy and no obligation at all. So use your agency. Take action now. Text the word PROTECT to the number 989898.
Mostly cloudy skies, 32 degrees. WIBX News Time is 7:03. This news update is brought to you by My Carl's President's Day Sale. Keep more presidents in your pocket. Shop the My Carl's President's Day Sale. Historic deals on all in-stock furniture. All in stock with easy, no credit needed financing. Only at My Carl's, New Hartford Shopping Center, and now open in Destiny, USA. Utica Police making an arrest in connection with Friday morning's robbery of the Adirondack Bank branch in downtown Utica. Police have charged 37-year-old Joseph Thompson with robbery in the 3rd degree, criminal possession of a controlled substance in the 4th degree, and an additional charge of criminal possession of a controlled substance. Police say based on their investigation, immediately after the bank robbery, Thompson boarded a Central bus headed towards Sangertown Square Mall. And they also say they believe he spent the night at a warming center on West Street in the city of Utica, where he told several people that he was going to rob the bank. At approximately 11:30 on Friday, police did apprehend Thompson. They stopped him and arrested him without incident, and while searching him, they say he was found to be in possession of a large quantity of cocaine. That's where the drug charges come from. Thompson is being held behind bars. Former Long Island Congressman Lee Zeldin returning to Albany today for the first time since Election Day. The Republican planning to hold a news conference at the Hilton Albany. He'll be discussing Governor Hochul's budget proposal and what he thinks are some necessary items that were excluded from the plan. Zeldin lost the race for governor to Hochul at the end of last year. She's now serving her first full 4-year term in Albany. Micron executives will be hosting 2 town hall meetings this week discussing the company's plan to build a new chip fab plant in the region. The first meeting being held tomorrow at 5:30 at Henniger High School in Syracuse. The second is planned for Wednesday evening at 6:30 at Fayetteville Manlius Middle School. The new Micron facility is going to be at the White Pine Commerce Park in Clay. The hope is that construction would begin in 2024. Now, there may be only a few weeks left in winter, we hope, but National Grid is reminding customers they can still sign up for home heating assistance. The primary program that income-eligible individuals use is the Home Energy Assistance Program, or HEAP, which provides financial help for home heating costs and also funds that can be used in case of a heat-related emergency. Both regular and emergency HEAP are going to be available through March 15th. More information can be found online. Just go to mybenefits.ny.gov. And the New York State Department of Health is encouraging African American and Hispanic men to get themselves tested for prediabetes. Prediabetes is a condition where an individual's blood sugar level is higher than normal, but it's not high enough to be diagnosed with diabetes. Anyone who wants to be tested is encouraged to reach out to their doctor. WIBX News Time, 7:06. Quite a warming trend here compared to what we saw at the end of last week. Right now, 32 degrees and mostly cloudy skies, looking at a high today of 38 degrees with some sunshine this afternoon. Tomorrow, chance of rain showers, a high of 41. Wednesday, mostly cloudy but dry with a high of 38. And Thursday, rain showers in the forecast with a high in the upper 40s. Looking ahead to this weekend, we could see some snow showers, and temps seem to fall back into the 30s and maybe even the 20s. But long-term forecast, you're right, we're well above average.
30s and 40s, yeah.
I mean, I'm even seeing here some 48s as far as Friday goes and early next week. So I'll tell you.
March Madness is just around the corner.
Yes, it certainly is. We have cloudy skies, 32 degrees. It is 7:07.
All right, from the IBEW Local 43 Sports Desk, Jesse Edwards scored a career-high 27 points, and Syracuse pulled away late to beat Boston College 77-68 on Saturday. Syracuse is doing one thing right, Davey, this year, and they've gotten to the point where they're winning the games they're supposed to win. Okay, would you agree?
Yes.
And the problem they're having, though, is winning those big games that they could win. They were winning late into the game, and then they blow it at the end. That's what we got to work on. But in this case, they beat Boston College on Saturday, 77-68. SU plays at Florida State when? Wednesday, is it?
Wednesday night at 7 on ESPN 2.
ESPN 2. Okay. And then the streak has been broken. Colgate University in the Pioneer League. They had 26 in a row, 26 wins in a row in the conference. And what did I do?
You said Pioneer
League.
I'm sorry. It's Patriot League.
In the Patriot. It's all in the same realm, Davey.
Sorry.
It is. They had an 18-0 second half run. We're talking about American University. And ultimately beat the Raiders 61-60, ending the Colgate nation-leading 26-game win streak in the Pilgrim League. It's not the Pilgrim League, is it? Yeah. We'll take all of those little nicknames. Martin Truex Jr. wins the NASCAR opener over the weekend. That, of course, is an exhibition, though, you're talking about, right?
Yeah, because it was raced at the LA Coliseum.
Knicks hold off the Sixers at the Garden. They've won 2 of their last 3 games after taking down the 76ers 108-97 at Madison Square Garden. Kyrie Irving traded to the Mavericks, and the Nets will host the Clippers tonight. What are your thoughts on that trade, Manaski?
Well, I think it's interesting. He's one of the most talented guys in the league. But I would say, and I'm making an analogy here, this isn't 100% spot on, but almost like an OBJ or an Ocho Cinco. Even you could argue Ocho Cinco, though, the Chad Johnson was more reliable and less prone to these off-the-court, off-the-field disputes. He takes stands on things. You know, he's a flat earther.
The vaccine as well.
Yeah, the vaccine was among the things, but even he just seems to be very difficult to get along with. Has a chip on his shoulder, and is more interested in advocacy than playing. And when you make that kind of money, like, that's fine, but there's got to be a breaking point somewhere in between where a team says, look, I'm sick of this. We need you on the court. You're one of the most talented guys in the league. We don't pay you to be a protester.
Almost
or anything.
like the Nets are saying enough is enough.
Goodbye. So he's a Maverick now.
Eli Manning in the NFC took down older brother Peyton and the AFC in the inaugural Pro Bowl game, or the Pro Bowl games. It included flag football, right?
I didn't watch a lick of this, but I'll be honest, I wasn't going to watch the Pro Bowl anyway. I think this is probably a better way to go. And then the fans love the little competitions with the quarterback accuracy and how many balls you can catch.
The Chiefs and Eagles are in the desert ahead of Super Bowl 57. Both teams arrived in Phoenix on Sunday as they get set for the big game next weekend. This week, the Super Bowl festivities, at least for you in your local community, includes the signing up for one of those Squares tickets or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
It gives people that might not be interested in the game, or even those who are, a little spice during the game. You could win pretty big. Speaking of winning, how about some of these novelty prop bets that are out there? There is a bet that you can bet on the jersey numbers, combined jersey numbers of all touchdown scorers.
Oh, that's cool.
The over/under is 170.5. It's basically even almost.
Oh, I see. Okay, so you're not picking a number; you're just over/under on their number.
You're doing the over/under. Their number is 170.5.
I think I would go the under here. Okay.
Jersey number of first touchdown scorer, over 11.5, under 11.5. The over is plus 105. Jersey number of the last touchdown scorer, team to make the first coach's challenge. Again, these are all kind of even type bets. They might be like plus 110 or somewhere in that range, that sort of thing, or 105. Will the first coach's challenge be successful? The over/under is a yes. So the favored choice would be yes.
Okay.
No pays plus 110. Will there be an octopus? And the octopus is, you know what an octopus is?
No.
Where a player scores a touchdown and then the ensuing 2-point conversion.
Oh, okay.
And that's I would think that would be rare. And I guess it is. It's rare for it to happen. If it happens in the Super Bowl, a $100 bet would pay $1,400.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Will a field goal, extra point, hit an upright or a crossbar? Yes is .450.
Okay.
But no is negative 650.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's not a common occurrence. I'm surprised it's not higher than plus 450.
Position of MVP, quarterback, negative 650. Wide receiver, plus 650. The MVP being a tight end is plus 900, or a running back or fullback is plus 1,200. By the way, and this could happen, but it would be so rare, if the kicker, punter, or long snapper was the MVP, that would pay $15,000. A $100 bet would pay you $15,000.
Wow!
But that would have to mean you'd be like an old Giants Super Bowl performance where field goals played a huge role in the game.
So I have one note here that I want to mention. I guess so. The NFL wildcard weekend, we saw 4 out of the 6 games. The spread right now is Kansas City plus 1.5. Okay, and the over/under is 50.5. And I didn't bet the over. I might, but I did not bet the over. But I'm really hoping it goes over because it gives you, in theory, unless it's a one-sided blowout, it'll give you a back-and-forth game with a lot of scores. I think that would be great. But I just went and checked here. In the playoff games, these are usually very defensive-focused games. We haven't had a game over 50 since the initial wild card round weekend. When there were 6 games, 4 of the 6 games went over 50. Not a game since.
Wow.
So I'm just hoping for an even game. I want to see a good game. I'd love to watch the Eagles lose, but even then, I would trade it for a good back and forth, entertaining game. Please.
And then we talked about this last hour, and Tennessee senators there have introduced a bill that would make Super Bowl Monday a holiday. It wouldn't be an extra day off because they would get rid of Columbus Day. If approved, this would be a change only citizens in Tennessee would enjoy. But it's a start. Many think it may be in our future that the Super Bowl, the day after the Super Bowl, becomes a holiday. I don't think so. In fact, I don't even think it's going to happen in Tennessee.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And also, the idea was they're looking to basically trade up a holiday, right?
Correct.
So
Yeah.
They were going to go with Columbus Day they would get rid of. You know, I know a lot of people take real strong exception to what is discussed about Christopher Columbus nowadays. We go back in history, and was he a good guy, a bad guy? And I'm not looking to rile anybody up this morning, but why don't we get rid of President's Day, right? We always say how racist the country was and the founders were so horrible. Why don't we get rid of their day then?
You wonder what they're thinking, right? You wonder, what are they thinking? And Davey, for something I'm working on, I need you to say, no one calls me that. My name is Davey. Ready? Go.
No one calls me that. My name is Davey.
Ooh, you got to sell it, though. You got to be
No one
angry.
calls me that. My name is Davey.
Oh, that was
Okay,
good.
all right. But I was talking when you did
Yeah,
it.
here we go. Do it
3, 2, 1.
No one calls me that. My name is Davey.
That's good.
That is very good.
He doesn't like the name David, right?
Or Dave.
Or Dave.
I have certain people call me Dave that I like.
Okay, all right. But it's a select few.
Yes.
Otherwise, your name is Davey or Smitty. Manasseh calls you Smitty.
Most of the people around here call me Smitty.
Yeah, I don't. You're Davey.
He also takes exception to idiot and yo.
Hey, yo. Or my favorite is champ or anything like that.
Or Bad Bunny.
Or Bad Bunny. Do it all this year. Book your home improvement project with New York Sash and get a free vacation. Schedule a price quote for a home improvement project with New York Sash, and they'll gift you with a cruise or luxury vacation voucher to take the trip of your dreams. Cruise for 3 to 7 days on the top liners and locations, or stay at your choice of 4,500 luxury resorts worldwide. There's no blackout dates. You get 24 months to book, and it is fully transferable. How about that?
Yeah.
It means this makes the perfect gift. You don't have to choose. Improve your home or go on vacation. Which should I do? I'd like to improve the home, but, man, I want to go on vacation. Now you can do both at New York Sash. Find out more by signing up for a no-cost, no-obligation price quote at newyorksash.com/vacation or stop into the showroom today.
Are you sick of being just a number or doing a mindless job? Become a craftsman in a trade. Become an IBEW electrician. The IBEW and the Electrician Training Alliance will give you all the tools necessary at their state-of-the-art training facility. Earn as you learn. Paid training while you get your certification. What are you waiting for? Become an IBEW Local 43 electrician. Call or go online today to learn more. Find your career at IBEW and let the Electrician Training Alliance light up your future.
Adirondack Home Furniture's Flex Steel Big Game Sale is going on now, but only for a limited time. Hurry in for discounts up to 15% off select sofas, recliners, occasional pieces, and leather furniture. With hundreds of designer fabrics to choose from, your new piece is guaranteed to have the look you want. Stop dreaming and start creating the home of your dreams with quality, long-lasting Flex Steel furniture from Adirondack Home Furniture. Beauty and comfort is made to last with Flex Steel's exclusive lifetime warranty blue steel spring seating. Stop into Adirondack Home Furniture today and save up to 15% during their big game sale. Visit their Flex Steel gallery for the best selection of Flex Steel furniture on sale. The best value and top quality furniture for your home is at Adirondack Home Furniture. You don't want to miss out on the Flex Steel big game sale at Adirondack Home Furniture. Hurry in, sale ends soon. Located at the former Riverside Mall, Horatio Street, Utica.
How far will the left go to win 2024? Will they send out more stimulus checks, pass more student loan bailouts, or give away trillions more to left-wing groups? The simple truth is they don't care if your retirement is eroded down to a fraction of its value. They just want to win. Hi, Stephen K. Bannon. I want to encourage you to diversify your 401k or IRA out of paper assets and into a physical gold IRA. And the only company I recommend for gold IRAs is conservative-owned Birch Gold Group. To learn more, text the word SAFEGUARD to 989898 to get their free info kit on gold IRAs. Do this now before Democrats have a chance to legislate away your life savings. Get your free info kit on gold IRAs by texting HEDGE to the number 989898. There's nothing to buy and no obligation at all. So use your agency. Take action now. Text the word HEDGE to the number 989898.
Uncertainty, the unknown. These can be some of the greatest fears people face. There is a chance for a life of greater certainty that the Rome Rescue Mission provides. We call it a hand up, not a handout. The Rome Rescue Mission provides the basic necessities and the skills needed to start a new life. It starts simply with someone to talk to. Knowing that someone cares, the Rome Rescue Mission strives to meet basic needs, food, shelter, and clothing, but more importantly, provides emotional and spiritual support. The Rome Rescue Mission helps people start a new and promising life. Being in need is not a choice. Helping is. An unlimited future starts at the Rome Rescue Mission through your generous support. Make a difference and donate now. RomeMission.org. That's RomeMission.org. Rome Rescue Mission. A hand up, not a handout.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Paid for by Pharmavide.
Did you know estrogen decline can begin for women as early as 40 years old? This can lead to a number of symptoms associated with menopause, like hot flashes, mood changes, sleep disruption, and more. Equell can help. Equell is the only supplement made with S-Equol, a naturally derived plant-based ingredient that relieves symptoms of estrogen decline. In clinical trials, women taking Equell experienced 5 fewer hot flashes per day, 50 more minutes of sleep per night, alleviated mood swings, and more. Not sure if you're experiencing symptoms of estrogen decline? Reach out to Equell's customer support team for help navigating your symptoms. You can try Equell risk-free for 90 days with Equell's 90-day money-back guarantee. Get the support you need with Equell. For more information and to get 20% off your first order, go to equell.com/news. That's EQUELLE.com/news for 20% off. equell.com/news.
You have cancer. 3 words you wish you could unhear. But just because a cancer diagnosis may be a shock to your system doesn't mean cancer surgery has to be. Now, there's Edge Radiosurgery. It breaks down tumors in less than an hour per treatment. No knife, no hospital stay. Faster treatments, lower risk. Edge Radiosurgery, now at AMP of New York. Learn more at ampofny.com/edge. You may experience side effects which may be severe. Ask your doctor of Edge Radiosurgery and Associated Medical Professionals of New York is right for you.
Let me tell you about River Hills Properties and the extra things that they do for you when they list your home, which is all the reason why people are listing their home with River Hills Properties. So if you're thinking about selling in 2023, listen to this. It's the extra things that they do. Your house is always ready to be shown with the best foot forward every single time because your listing agent is there every time the house is shown. They don't allow people to come walking through in the middle of the day when no one's home, using the lockbox, going through your house, trying to figure out where to turn the lights on. The lights are on. The scene is set. They're getting the best look at your home. That is such a huge, huge plus when selling your home. And every time a potential buyer comes through the door, they're handed what they call the book. And it's everything there is to know about the home, every addition, every single thing that has been done with that home, and there are receipts to back it up. A great tool when selling your home. And knowing that you have someone there from start to finish, when something goes wrong, that's the River Hills way because your listing agent there is there from start to finish. When we were doing the appraisal on the property and the appraiser couldn't come up with comparables, Robin from River Hills was right there on the spot and whipped out 3 in our neighborhood comparables that worked and allowed us to move forward on what we thought we were going to ask for the home. These are just a few of the things that they do. You just know you're in good hands from start to finish with River Hills. In Barneville, Little Falls, Utica, and all of upstate New York. Online, it's riverhillspropertiesllc.com. Phone number, 315-896-1009. Remember, nobody sells homes like River Hills Properties.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Can I throw out some other interesting bets that are being thrown at you for the Super Bowl? Are you ready here on this Monday?
Yeah.
Already. You could be all over this. So what do you think if you were to pick, if you were going to put a bet down,
yeah,
and the bet is what will the final score be? This is one of the prop bets that is out there. I mean, the fact that you are going to pick the winner and the final score is a long shot to begin with.
So you need both, right? Like I can't say 31-28. I got to be 31-28 Kansas City.
Correct.
Okay.
All right. What do you think?
I'm going to guess 31-28 Kansas City.
Okay. Let's see. Let me get there.
Or how about a 34-28, maybe something like that?
You're changing it on me.
Okay.
So Kansas City 34-28.
Yeah.
Okay. If the final score, and you were to put a $100 bet down, if the final score is Chiefs 34, Eagles 28, you would win $25,000.
Stop it.
Yeah, honest to God.
250 to 1 on that?
It is, yeah, it's plus 25,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
34-28 is your put $100 down. Put $50 down. Put $25 down.
I bet $1 on these things. I'll go with these long shot odds. I'll throw $1 on this one, $1 on and I don't mean that's not short for $100. I mean literally a dollar.
Yeah.
And you win. You'd win what $250? $250 for $1.
Yeah. Not bad, right?
Boy, it makes me want to put 10 on it though for $2,500.
So how about if you pick Chiefs 38, Eagles 30? That pays $50,000. A $100 bit would pay $50,000. Wow. But again, these are such long shots, right? Your
Not
chances,
really.
Well, they are. I mean, with all of the possible scores,
Sure.
it is a major long shot. But I mean, you think about what would a score end up? I mean, what scores are typical in a football game? I think the highest that you could get is $50,000 on a $100 bet.
Wow.
Eagles, how about this? Chiefs 10, Eagles 7.
That's outrageous odds, right?
50,000.
Yeah.
Plus 50,000.
Wow.
So gives you a little bit of an idea. But, the chances of pulling that off, not necessarily all that good. And there are many like this. I mean, you literally can bet on anything this Super Bowl.
10
and probably more than ever before because more people have access because you're doing it right from your computer or your phone.
And not only that, Bill, I know there used to be, people would bet a lot of games, a guy or something like that or a gal who takes bets. But now something you couldn't do before that you absolutely can do, and they advertise and they almost encourage you to do it, is basically the live betting. So, right, it's halfway through the second quarter, Kansas City gets a punt or Philly gets a punt, and you can say, I think they're going to score a touchdown on this drive. I think they're going to punt or get a field goal on this drive. And that was something, back in the day before this was legalized and you could have it right in your hand. You couldn't call your bookie every possession change and go, all right, what are my odds on a touchdown? They didn't really offer that. Right. So, yeah, it's just everything all the time now. We went 0 to 60
craziness, just craziness. I want to tell you, did it turn out to be accurate, the forecast on Friday? It was blustery, high winds, snowing, and frigid cold. That temperature, it kept dropping and dropping. Before you knew it, mid-afternoon, we were below zero. And even more so if you got into some of the higher elevations.
Yeah.
So we got through that, and then the snow is blowing. It's cold. We're, I don't know, I think we might have hit 17 below on Friday night into Saturday morning at our home. And I heard others that were much colder than that in the higher elevations. So what do you think is going to go wrong when the temperatures and the wind especially are like that. You're gonna have frozen water pipes, and there was a lot of that over the weekend on Saturday morning. And the other issue, which we did have for the first time, because they had done work when we had our kitchen redone a few years back, and we had this little overhang, and the wind can get in underneath that. And I got inside the ceiling and realized, they did a great job of moving the water line, but they also removed all the insulation that was there, so that there was no insulation protecting it. So I spent my Saturday with a hairdryer first, and then putting insulation in where.
Did the pipe rupture?
No,
Okay.
I had those flex hoses.
Oh, nice.
So I imagine the connections can still rupture.
Sure.
But for the most part, it stops that from happening. The other thing is, on Friday night, about 6 o'clock, we realized, God, it's only like 65 degrees in here. Wait a minute, the thermometer, the thermostat is at 70. The furnace wasn't working.
Oh, you're kidding me.
So this is on Friday night. And I'm like, what do we do? And then, we went for about an hour with it not working. And then all of a sudden it kicked on and it started working again. So I'm like, okay, that's not a good sign. So we made the phone call to Collis. And within an hour, we had a service rep there. Because my biggest concern was, I think we have an old furnace. So my biggest concern is, this thing's going to go. At some point, the furnace is going to go.
At exactly the wrong time.
And it's only going to happen when it's really cold because it's working harder than normal. And, my concern is there something that might have ruptured? Could there be carbon monoxide poisoning going on? You have those alarms in your house, but you wonder, are they really working? And so I just wanted to make sure it was safe. Within an hour, Collis was at our house. And the service rep came in and was able to walk away and say, I don't know, it's working now, and everything checks out. You don't have any issues that, this is, in other words, it's safe to operate.
Yeah.
But the question is going to be, what do we do?
Right.
So we had the call. Now is it time to pull the trigger on a new furnace? So I spoke with Mike over at Collis, and we discussed it. We're going to make the decision through the weekend. Let's see how things go through the weekend. Because it would be a lot easier to replace it in the summertime, wouldn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
Than smack dab in the middle of the winter. So what do you think happens on Saturday? It went down again.
No.
But again, for only about 45 minutes. And then it kicked back on. So something is going on with this thing as it's failing. And I don't know what it is. Maybe it could be something like the thermostat. But the reality is our furnace is 25 years old. Furnaces are meant to last today about 15 to 20 years. So we're already well past that. What do you do? So today, and I have to say, Collis was amazing. They not only did they have the service rep at our house on Friday evening, but they offered space heaters. They offered whatever we needed. They were there. We had friends offering stuff too. My friend Rob is like, I got a place. It's completely furnished. It has heat. You can stay there tonight. But it all worked out.
That was nice.
Didn't need the space heaters. We were able to get through the whole thing. But the decision was we have a new furnace going in today. And that's how quickly Collis was able to move. This morning, they'll be at our house installing a new furnace.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And that is Collis. So I realize I do have an endorsement commercial for Collis scheduled for today. But it just so happens it falls on a day where I just experienced the whole thing this past weekend. And they'll be at our home today installing, so I can basically tell you what it's like firsthand.
Excellent. Can I tell you my weekend story about the freezing weather? And
it was cold.
Yeah, it was about my car. So they tell you when it's going to be brutally cold like that, you should have a half tank, quarter tank of gas in your vehicle.
Got to have more than like an eighth of a tank.
Yeah, well, guess who didn't? I didn't.
Did your gas line freeze?
My gas line froze.
Wow.
I believe that's what happened. So here's the deal. I'm not a complete idiot, but what I have is, excuse me, my gas gauge broke in my gas tank. So basically, my gas light is always on. I mean, I could put $25 in.
So you don't know how much gas you have.
Right. So I do this. I'm kind of, and I've only been
That's kind of a new vehicle, too.
It's a 17, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and this happened like within the last month. So I've been dealing with it. So I'll put $10, $15 in, and I'll do the math. Like, oh, I got about 90 miles, right? And I've been fine. But Saturday morning, Carter had his basketball practice, so it's like wake up. It's 12 below when I got up. I go outside, take the dog out. I'm like, this car's not going to start. I know it's not going to start. Boom, starts right up. Great, good to go. So I make it to practice. Awesome. Carter has his practice. He made 11 baskets.
Nice.
Awesome. I was so proud of him. On the way home, I had to stop here to put in a couple of things for weekend. We had the Pro Bowl stuff on Sunday. So on my way here, my car kind of like does that little hiccup cough thing where it's like bucks a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, no, I think I miscalculated. Don't you know I run out of gas? So as it dies, I'm just down the road here. I kind of veer off the side of the road. Did you see my car?
That was your car.
My car's stuck in a parking lot. So I veer off the road. So my mother was at practice as well. All right, I'm going to go grab a gas tank. We put like 3 gallons of gas in. The car doesn't start. I'm like, oh, you're kidding
So
me.
it all, just because of the cold, with it being empty, it had frozen up. Everything had frozen where it wasn't able to work.
Amazingly, I had run errands in the morning, though. So
it's the fact that you basically were left with air in there. You didn't have any gas left in there. So it must have allowed whatever mechanism is inside your system to freeze.
So I put the.
Do they have carburetors anymore? We don't even have carburetors anymore.
I don't think so.
I don't even. Your fuel injector.
Yeah.
Must have frozen.
I don't know, gas line, fuel pump, something. So it ended up. I tried starting it a couple times. We went back later in the day, couldn't start it, and I said, "Look, by this point it had warmed up to like 2 below." And I said, "Wait." Sunday I went about 10:30 in the morning. It was 30 degrees. Started right
easy.
up.
Yeah. Wow.
So hopefully I'm. No problems today, I'm hoping.
The other thing that does happen a lot is people, and it's not so much today, but it used to be when you had the locked gas caps on the outside, they would always freeze, and you're trying to get your gas, and people would be out with a hairdryer or, which is incredibly dangerous, because you could completely catch that thing on fire. There could be an explosion.
Yeah.
But this is what the cold does to us. We go a little crazy. Got a break. Hold on tight. We'll talk to Tim Julian coming up in a second, the Oneida County legislator, and get his take on where these. We've had the city party endorsements have been made. So we'll get into that coming up in a second. 7:37 at WIBX.
From screen printing and embroidery to promotional products and online shops, it's all under one new roof at Max's Print Shop in Marcy. Order anytime and any quantity in person or online at maxsprintshop.com. Since 1978, we pride ourselves on personally meeting every customer's need. We can take your project from design to production. And remember, Max's Print Shop will stitch anything. And we mean anything in the Utica-Rome area. Find us at 9555 River Road in Marcy or online at maxsprintshop.com.
First, we decide where we want to go. Then we need to know the best way to get there. Hi, my name's Adam Barada. I'm the owner of Advantage Gold. We're the highest rated precious metals firm in the country. We teach people how to own physical gold and silver. Now, we've won the Best of TrustLink Award 4 years in a row because we educate our clients on how to buy gold and silver the right way. We don't pay celebrity spokespeople millions of dollars. We'd rather pass that value on to you. Call 800-900-8000 and speak with one of our experts. We'll send you a free gold kit along with my latest #1 national best-selling book, The Great Devaluation. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000. Get the best information, the best process, the best service, the best value. Call Advantage Gold at 800-900-8000. Call 800-900-8000.
Advantage Gold is not an investment advisor or a tax advisor. Consult with your financial advisor before investing.
Warner Sales and Service. Building relationships, building trust.
Hi, Eric from Warner's here. Winter is coming, and you know better than anyone how important your Bobcat equipment is during this season. We're here to help keep it going during the winter months. From preventative maintenance to major repairs, our service department has you covered. Or maybe it's time to upgrade that older machine to something new. Stop in and see one of our Bobcat specialists. Because we focus our attention only on the Bobcat products, we can help you find just the right machine for the task at hand. So So whether it's service or sales or even rentals, stop by our place and let's see if we can solve some of your winter problems. Warner Sales and Service, just off Route 365 between Rome and Verona.
Building relationships, building trust. Warner Sales and Service. Warner's, where quality still counts. At Warner's.
Mostly cloudy skies, 32 degrees. WIBX news time is 7:40. An earthquake rocking western New York this morning. A 3.8 magnitude earthquake struck the suburbs of Buffalo early this morning, according to the U.S. Geological Survey. The center of the quake was in West Seneca. Shaking was felt as far north as Niagara Falls and as far south as Orchard Park. The Erie County executive said this morning, "It felt like a car ran into my house, and I jumped out of bed. No reports of injuries at this time." Well, Turkey is reeling after another powerful earthquake. This one a magnitude 7.5, just hours after a deadly magnitude 7.8 earthquake. Between that country and Syria, over 1,300 people are believed to have been killed, thousands more injured. The U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan says President Biden has directed USAID to assess all response options. Senator Marco Rubio says the U.S. needs to put just as much focus on the message that China sent with their surveillance balloon as the potential data it collected. Appearing on CNN's State of the Union, the Florida Republican suggested China is basically saying they could get away with blatant surveilling of sensitive military sites, and there was nothing the U.S. could do to stop them. The 65th Annual Grammy Awards in the books. Harry Styles caught the biggest fish, winning Album of the Year in a stacked category, beating Beyonce, Adele, Bad Bunny, and others. The As It Was singer also took home a Grammy for Best Pop Vocal Album. Beyonce did, however, make history on Sunday, becoming the artist with the most Grammy wins of all time. LeBron James is on the brink of setting another NBA record. The Lakers star's 36 points shy, surpassing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as the league's all-time scoring leader. James currently 7th in the NBA in scoring, averaging 30 points a game. If he maintains the average and doesn't miss a game, LeBron could set the record Thursday when the Lakers host Milwaukee at Crypto.com Arena. And the New York State Attorney General's office investigating the case of an elderly woman thought to be dead who was later found to be alive while at the funeral home. On Saturday morning, an 82-year-old woman was pronounced dead at the Water's Edge Rehab and Nursing Center in Port Jefferson, New York. She was transported to a funeral home hours later. Not long after, it was discovered she was still breathing. Your WIBX Weather Center forecast calling for the warm-up to continue. Currently cloudy skies and 32 degrees. Looking at a high today of 38. For your Tuesday, sunny skies with a high reaching, Tuesday, cloudy skies, chance of rain showers and a high of 41. Wednesday, mostly cloudy with a high of 38. Thursday, rain showers expected with a high of 46. Friday, cloudy, upper 40s for the high temperature. Right now, cloudy and 32. It is 7:43.
All right, let's do our free money question of the day from the Hobeika Law Firm. Davey, this morning we're going with caller number what?
4.
Fourth caller through the lines right now, 315-736-0186. Caller number 4 gets a shot at Hobeika's free money question. Caller 4, 315-736-0186.
COVID is still spreading. Don't let your guard down. Anyone can get severely ill from COVID. But your risk is greater if you're over 65, if you're obese, have heart or lung disease, diabetes, or another underlying health condition. Lower your risk of serious illness, hospitalization, and death with the most up-to-date COVID vaccines, including the booster. Learn more at ny.gov/booster.
Adirondack Home Furniture's Flex Steel Big Game Sale is going on now, but only for a limited time. Hurry in for discounts up to 15% off select sofas, recliners, occasional pieces, and leather furniture. With hundreds of designer fabrics to choose from, your new piece is guaranteed to have the look you want. Stop dreaming and start creating the home of your dreams with quality, long-lasting Flex Steel furniture from Adirondack Home Furniture. Beauty and comfort is made to last with Flex Steel's exclusive lifetime lifetime warranty Blue Steel spring seating. Stop into Adirondack Home Furniture today and save up to 15% during their big game sale. Visit their Flex Steel gallery for the best selection of Flex Steel furniture on sale. The best value and top quality furniture for your home is at Adirondack Home Furniture. You don't want to miss out on the Flex Steel big game sale at Adirondack Home Furniture. Hurry in, sale ends soon. Located at the former Riverside Mall, Horatio Street, Utica.
How far will the left go to win 2024? Will they send out more stimulus checks, pass more student loan bailouts, or give away trillions more to left-wing groups? The simple truth is they don't care if your retirement is eroded down to a fraction of its value. They just want to win. Hi, Stephen K. Bannon. I want to encourage you to diversify your 401k or IRA out of paper assets and into a physical gold IRA. And the only company I recommend for gold IRAs is conservative-owned Birch Gold Group. To learn more, text the word SAFEGUARD to 989898 to get their free info kit on gold IRAs. Do this now before Democrats have a chance to legislate away your life savings. Get your free info kit on gold IRAs by texting HEDGE to the number 989898. There's nothing to buy and no obligation at all. So use your agency. Take action now. Text the word HEDGE to the number 989898.
Poor Sam was a mess. Always itching, licking. His paws were soaking wet. He had bald spots on his back. DINOVITE.com. 2 weeks after he started Dynamite, I started seeing great improvements, and today 99% of his issues are non-existent. Dynamite is nutrition. Dynamite is the best thing you can do for your dog.
You won't believe how happy your dog will be.
I get my Dynamite from DINOVITE.com.
Every day at NBT Bank, we focus our business around all the ways we can help yours. We're large enough to offer leading business and digital solutions, but local enough to ensure personalized one-on-one service. So turn to NBT Bank for a full range of business solutions, like capital and treasury management services, even fraud protection, and see how NBT Bank is just the right size to help you do big things. Visit nbtbank.com to learn more and start a conversation. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Okay, it's 7:47. Give you a shot at Hobica's free money question of the day from Andrew and Joseph Hobica at 315-724-1600. And Pat is in New Hartford, ready to walk away a winner. Hello, Pat. Good morning.
Good morning.
You're going to have 7 seconds to answer the question, and I think this is relatively an easy one, so let's see what happens. Here we go. You'll have 7 seconds. Here's your question. This bridge goes from Buffalo to Canada. Ready, go.
The sugar. International Bridge.
You got it. It's the Sugar Bridge. No. No.
Connecting Candyland with Seneca Falls.
Anybody know the answer to that?
Isn't it something like the Peace Bridge, the Goodwill
Stop
Bridge?
right there. It's the Peace Bridge.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, absolutely right.
Manaski wins $100.
It is the Peace Bridge. So here's what we're going to give you. Not the money, but we have a bunch more. I have this weekend. Karen Rentowski is performing at Fat Cats Comedy Club with shows all weekend long, Friday and Saturday. We'll give you a table for 6 there. I have the food and fun card from Aquavino, Babes, Taylor and the Cook, 72 Tavern and Grill, and any of the Adirondack Bank Center concession stands, and Nexus as well, plus the brand new WIBX mug. It's a beauty. It's got 2 logos, the Keeler logo on one side, IBX on the other. Very cool. And the mugs are courtesy of Max's Print Shop on River Road in Marcy. So anything else? Are we good?
Yeah, I think we're good. I was just going to say, one side's got the IBX logo, the other one's the Keeler logo, and if you spill the mug, that's the Manaski logo.
Yeah,
when you got coffee all over the console.
Yeah. You are prone to spillage. There's no doubt. Okay, Pat, stand by. Davey's going to take care of you, all right?
Thanks, guys.
All right. Remember, Peace Bridge, Buffalo to Canada. And Manaski got it right. Tim Julian, county legislator, in studio right now. Good morning.
Morning. How are you?
Good. Did you know the Peace Bridge?
I've been over the Peace Bridge.
Yeah.
I remember it from a time ago, but Manasseh certainly got to it first.
nailed it. You nailed it.
I was going a few other places than that today.
So we're lining up for a very, very big political year. Would you agree with that? There's a lot going on.
Locally speaking, it's going to be a big year. Yes.
What are your thoughts? What's your general? I mean, the mayor's race in Utica is going to be big.
It should be interesting. Yes,
Yeah,
it should be.
yeah.
Certainly all new people. No power of the incumbency coming in, and the thing is that people will always go out, and one of the things that bothers me is people will got to vote in the presidential, and you see the numbers go up every 4 years. The presidential race, I mean, it's crazy. But the reality is, you will have more dealings with the local elected officials than you will the president on any given day of the week.
And yet people don't go out and vote.
Yeah, people don't go out and vote.
I don't get it.
Inspired. Same thing with the school board elections. Look at the massive budgets in the school board elections that you're out there voting on,
which overshadows the city budget
considerably.
Yeah,
and and the effort's just not there, and it's really too bad. I mean, this is, the ability to go out and vote is one of the greatest rights we have, and when people don't do that, it's kind of it's the weather, it's this, it's that. Of course, with the changes in the primary schedule, people are still getting used to that. People are still getting used to things of that nature.
Well, they got to go out and get signatures early because of a June primary.
Yep.
So,
and then you go into the by the time the actual election comes around, there may be people thinking to themselves, "Well, this is a foregone conclusion. Why even bother?" Or this is whatever it might be. And so it's too bad. It's too bad people don't show up
there
was they should.
A time we spoke to you, and you thought, based on the word of the rumors that were out there of who was going to be running for mayor of Utica, that you might almost feel compelled and be urged by people to get out there and run. Are you satisfied with the current field?
Yeah, I think this should shake out pretty well.
Okay,
I think we're at a point where. And look, I mean, before that even occurred in my mind, I took basically a stock of everything that I, could or would be able to do, and owning a business and some of the other things that are in my life, and then also looking at the opportunity to do some things and do some good things for the city and for the area that I represent in the county legislature, and having the ability. As minority leader, to work with the county executive and to work with the chairman and work with the majority leader has given me the parity that I really kind of wanted on the board. And I think we've gone from a level of them not really either liking me or liking what I had to say to a point where that I am I think I'm right there with them now as far as in what we're trying to get done. And I was looking for that parity, and I think we've achieved that parity, and that's been important to me.
That's pretty big.
Yeah, I think it's big.
Yeah.
I think the other side maybe would argue.
Wait a
that
minute,
it was
who
the
is
other
this
way.
guy in here right now?
I know. I think the other side would argue it was maybe you who didn't like them or what they were doing.
Well, it's not so much liking or not liking. It's not, what they're doing.
You speak your mind.
I speak my mind.
You do.
And look, at the same time, there are some things that have gone down a path now that that you're not going to. I mean, look, was I in favor of, say, the hospital going down? It wasn't.
Right.
The hospital's standing there. Not going to change that. What do we do next?
Right. How do we make that the best?
How do we make that
be?
the best possibility and
Yeah.
in the best situation for downtown Utica? And I believe we've done that. Some of the things we've looked at. Look, there's been things that have come up in the budget. There's been hirings made, and I've questioned them, and I continue to question things like that because I do that. I question stuff, and but I come in and I say, there's nothing that I'm going to do about it.
Right.
Nothing I can do about it. I don't have the votes.
Right.
I don't have the votes on that. But the flip side is that if I have that opportunity to question something, I will, and if it's or
maybe even to steer as a minority. In the minority, there is the ability to steer something in a direction that that could be really instrumental.
Well, what we have is that ability to bring it up.
Right, right.
And and we have the ability to kind of be a little bit of a, I guess, to use a football term, a free safety there on the way out in the secondary, looking at things and saying, hey, well, what about this? And don't you think this is right or this is wrong or what have you? And we've done that.
Yeah.
We've questioned a lot of things, and we've questioned things, through the three years that I've been there now. And I think that that's something that's important, but also at the same time, I think that some of the things that we've brought up, we've actually had some big movement on. And I think that's all you can do as a county legislator, is you can do things like that. Yes, Jeff.
Well, the question.
He's looking antsy.
He's looking
ready.
antsy.
He's ready to go.
See him. He's fidgeting like
He's
crazy.
fidgeting.
Get him a spinner.
I got my little segue here, and I don't want to lose it because I'm so absent-minded. Your question was about connecting Canada and the U.S. with the Peace Bridge. I'm told the Tim Julian Bridge recently connected two local politicians. Is that true? And was it a good meeting, or is that totally made up? Pacenti Palmieri.
So here's what I've heard. The intention was good.
Well, this is kind of like Appalachia.
The intention was good.
I am not going to say whether I was there or not.
Yeah.
No, look, I mean, here's a couple of things. Everyone's looking at their legacy. Everyone looks at their legacy. I mean, I think whether you want to say it fairly or unfairly, when I walked out of office in 2007, actually I was pushed out. I think I don't think I actually walked out. I think I was more shoved. But I left office in 2007. The some of the legacy on me was, well, I've fought and argued with everybody. And right. I make no excuses for that. I did exactly what I felt was necessary and had to do and would do probably all over again.
Yep.
I felt as though there were certain things that were being treated unfairly, and that being treated unfairly, I certainly was not going to sit around and let that happen. Now, that being said, if I were to fast forward to today, and I was the mayor of the city of Utica, and I had the kind of investment going into the city of Utica, and specifically the downtown area
that has been
Oneida County has done,
yeah,
I probably would have been a lot happier of a guy.
Yeah,
I probably would have been a lot happier of a guy,
right.
Because really, if you go in, and obviously you were there at Nexus, you were the MC there when that opened up. Directly across the street with the garage and the hospital and the medical office building and all these other things. There is truly well over $1 billion of investment into downtown Utica, which is something that you really haven't seen before. Yeah. And as we look at that, I mean that's kind of hard to argue with. That's really kind of hard to argue with.
And yet there is this divide between the mayor and the county executive that. I feel like we would be better off if that didn't exist.
Speaking from experience, yeah, we would.
Yeah. You seem like I feel like.
Who would you think I'd be the voice of reason?
I can't even believe it.
Lord.
I don't know
what has this world come to.
It's funny if you look at you took a career of politics. I took a career of whatever we could call this.
I don't even know.
But it's interesting. I look at things a lot differently than back when you were mayor. My approach is far different today, and I think the years
you're
create
a little kinder and gentler too, Bill.
It's a little. We've both gone through a bit of a transformation.
The thing is with me is they know that I can dust the bottle off and take it out of the cupboard anytime I want.
Well, you haven't hung around me enough to.
It's like if you're interviewing Mike Tyson back in his prime. You don't even know. You might get an answer. You might get punched.
That is.
You never really know.
Well, let's just leave that part aside on the side.
Right.
The reality is, though, that there's a way that you can do good for the community. I think that ultimately has always been what you wanted.
Absolutely. Look, I was born here, raised here. I mean, I went to school here. Throughout my entire scholastic career, and at the high school, and even over to MVCC, and there's that. But at the same time, I've gone out and I've seen the world as well on my own, and seen things that sort of bring things back. But the reality is that I am, I guess, Utica proud.
Yeah.
As mayor, I tried to convey that, and I tried to put that energy into things like that. And I think that that's important. That someone who's going to be looking at this job has to have that type of. I mean, geez, I would be up at 3 a.m. with the fire department, the police department at times.
I remember all
DPW,
of that.
I do all these things.
The big Utica resurgence occurred during your administration, but the money wasn't there.
The money wasn't there, no.
What you have now is the money came first, and then the resurgence was realized.
Well,
and I
you know,
think
we
there's a difference.
always, yes, and look, 20 years in the life of a city is a blink of an eye.
Yeah.
You know that,
Yeah.
and Utica's, the age of Utica is to a point where you can't just go there and say that, we're going to do this and it's going to be done tomorrow. Obviously,
Right,
it's not going
right.
to be, especially when you have federal and state dollars tied to these things,
Yeah,
because there's
yeah.
these issues. And I always like to remind Pacenti and Palmieri and all these guys that, really this whole idea of a multi-ice facility and a district, throughout downtown. We called it the Gateway District at the time. Governor Pataki at the time signed on to it, and he was all for it. And unfortunately, for many, many reasons far greater than the fact that our project didn't get done when 2001, September 11, 2001 hit, money dried up. And that was it. For that, everyone was just trying to hang on from that point forward. So, at the time we acquired properties down there, we were doing that. We were land banking some stuff, and we were keeping some things going. We were pushing in that direction. And, fortunately, along the way, there have been some great partners that have come into the city, whether it's, Taylor and the Cook, which kind of started the whole resurgence of that the area there where, now Utica Coffee is, and the Pizza Parlor is, and the compound was, and all these places such as that
Started,
and people like Lynn Michelini. I mean, you look back at her.
No doubt about it.
She was ahead of the game on that.
She
way
was,
far in advance. And now you start to see this. We did the loft study, and everyone said, at the time, I think we said the city of Utica would support 115 loft style apartments. And everyone said, "Hey, are you crazy?
Right.
No one's going to pay that amount of money for."
Look at it
I
today.
don't know how many we have now, but it's a heck of a lot more than.
Heenan played a role,
Heenan played a role
which opened the door for Rob Esch, and I just think there was a lot of that stuff that started back then.
Oh, I think if not for Utica Pioneer Hockey, I don't think you'd see.
I agree.
The type of facility we have there right now, and they really kind of kept that place going when there was a lot of questions about the odd and the viability of it in general. And that was terrific.
A kinder, more gentle, thoughtful Tim Julian. Wow.
Where else you want to go?
Where else do you want to go?
We can go other places.
We don't have to.
What's your plan for November?
My plan for November?
Yeah, you're running for something?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes. I'm running for county legislator again, the seat that I have right now. I am the Democratic minority leader. And my thought process is that, there's to label someone Democrat, Republican, what have you, going into any of these local elections. There's no local way no Democrat or Republican way to take care of the needs of the constituency that you have. Obviously, you go into a national level on a national stage, which I don't plan on doing that.
Yeah.
Then those questions start to become important. What are your party platforms? What are these things? I believe truly that the idea is to serve the constituency and make sure that everyone is doing what they're supposed to be doing, that people are paying their taxes for.
And it's got to feel good to be in a position where you're a part of finishing what was started way back when you were mayor.
Yes, that certainly is good. We look at this, and one of the things that when I went in 2019, as I said, the city of Utica should not have to pay for a separate portion of the parking garage for a regional asset
Right, yeah.
such as the hospital
Yeah.
or the Nexus Center. And people said, well, they agreed to it. I said, I don't care if they agreed to it or not. We just shouldn't have to be. This is a regional. I'd love to figure out a way that Herkimer County could help pay for that. That would have been great. I mean, because it's a regional asset. People from all over the place are going to come to that hospital. People from all over the place are going to come to Nexus.
Sure.
And as such, this is a true regional asset. And lo and behold, it came out that the city did not pay for the parking garage, and much to the chagrin of some of the legislators that don't represent the city of Utica. But I thought it was a pretty big win for us and for myself, and I think that that's something that's important. Now, speaking of all these as legacy projects, I've had discussions with the county executive and others, and I think we're of like mind that St. Elizabeth's Hospital, as it sits right now, has to come down.
Right.
That is not part of the legacy.
Now, that's something that Bob Cardillo was on the other day, saying he doesn't feel it should come down.
Well, I think Bob Cardillo would have different feelings about that if he still lived on Douglas Crescent, because I think that's where the people who are most concerned are the ones who back right up to that hospital and what's going to be there. And look, you have a great neighborhood. and you are certainly, that hospital is positioned between two grade schools across the street from a church. It's right along the main business line going through the city of Utica and Genesee Street. And as such, excuse me, you can't let just the market dictate what goes on. This is where there's going to be some pushing and some pulling. But truthfully, where the actual hospital is concerned, that building is enormous. I mean, we've all been in that hospital. I mean, and you know, and
it's rough.
And speaking, it is rough.
Yeah.
And you know, years ago, I think I was about 12 years old. A friend of mine had a paper route that was in that hospital. He'd go and he'd pick up the papers, walk around from room to room.
That was his route.
That was his route.
That's cool.
It was envious because here you are. It's wintertime. It's raining. It's whatever. It's summertime. It's hot, and he's walking around in his air conditioned or heated hospital, asking people if they wanted a paper. So, as such, you know, I went with him a few times, and you know, just for something to do as a kid, you did that because you didn't have cable TV and iPads and things like that. So you went and you walked with your friend on the paper route.
Right.
But you know, it doesn't look much different.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look much different. Yeah. And when you start to see this, it's the realization that. You know, it would have such limited uses, and moreover, would it not only have limited uses, but it would also have to come in with probably a large infusion of federal dollars that would create the need for what we would call low to moderate income housing. You know, and look, there were some people asleep on the switch at the Kelberman project. I know you agreed with that. I didn't, but I think that building still does not fit into the character of that neighborhood. I think it's a little bit oversized, and I don't think it really is doing what it said it was going to do during the first conversations about it. Irrespective of that, that's there now. Got to make the best of it. Let's push back and see that this doesn't happen again. And with someone such as myself kind of keeping an eye on this.
All right, Mansky has one more. WIBC Utica Rome, Tim Julian, now legislator and the minority leader in the Oneida County Legislature.
I'll just mention WIBX 950 Utica Rome, just a follow-up to that because you mentioned Kelberman. So we've seen... and I just want to be fair. You said that people who live near the hospital don't want to see that building stay up. But we saw with the Kelberman project, it was a vacant school that was abandoned. And it seemed like, at least the neighbors we heard from, would have preferred it to be a vacant, abandoned school. And then when you look at the Stewart's project on Genesee Street, it seems like the neighbors there were okay with it, even if it was going to be a vacant restaurant. They didn't want the new development. Do you think there's any chance that the people near the hospital think, just leave it there, don't bring in your other junk and new construction and new people, I'm fine with a vacant building?
Well, I think what you need is a proactive plan, not a reactive plan. And I think that's the thing that we are working on right now, and we continue to work on, is that what would be the idea to have there? What would be something that would be, you know, complementary to the neighborhood, be complementary to Genesee Street, be complementary and necessary for the population that it's going to serve? I mean, do we create a space and then build the need into it, or do we have a need that we need to have? And I think that we do have a need. And one of the things that I've always looked at for that particular site, and it's a large parcel, it's an 18-acre parcel. And just to backtrack a little bit, a few weeks ago I was reading something on the mayoralty of Mike Caruso, Mike Caruso was at 72 and 73, the 2-year terms back then. And they said, you know, Mike Caruso, even though just a one-termer, got a lot of things accomplished. And one of the things he got accomplished was building a parking garage. And he didn't build it, but the parking garage was built at St. Elizabeth's Hospital. Now, think about that. That's 50 years ago that this parking garage has been sitting at St. Elizabeth. This thing's ready to go down.
With nothing done to it.
With nothing. I think they go out. There's a guy who goes out and like with a trowel and some spackle. He goes out there once in a while and like dolls up a crack across. Oh, look at this crack. It's
well, we'll just fill it in.
Spackle it up.
Yeah.
So you got any caulk? So the fact that this is, I mean, it's got to come down. And that's the important thing. So when you look at that, what you do see around there, and you see throughout many neighborhoods in the city of Utica, you see these large 2-story houses, and they're the colonials and upstairs, downstairs, and you see people who are in there who are older. It's an older population,
right?
Yeah,
and they're having a difficult time. But they can still drive, they can still get around, they can still do all the things they have to do, but they just don't like to walk upstairs and go to bed.
Right.
So again, my thought process is to create something not unlike an Acacia Village, not unlike the Cedarbrook residences up at Citron, not unlike what we have, and create a gated community with an HOA that you would have, pods, have cul-de-sacs that you'd have like just small.
Certainly, that would fit the population that we have.
That would fit the population that
Yeah,
we have,
yeah.
and it would not only that, but it would open up those houses that are in these other neighborhoods that people are really kind of trying to get into and trying to buy. You have a younger population as they're coming up. They want to be in to these neighborhoods. They want to have a house with some character. They want to have a neighborhood with some character. They want to have a neighborhood with sidewalks and street lights and safe and have the ability to walk around. And these are the things we have.
Sounds like a perfect spot for Stewart's. Tim Julian,
Why
thank
not
you.
a car wash?
Or a car wash.
Why not a car wash?
Wow, we are just going to have some really clean cars around here. It's going to be awesome. Tim Julian, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate the time. 8:09 at WIBX.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX 950 Utica, Rome, W295DI Utica, Rome, your news, talk, and sports leader, a Town Square media station.
Uncertainty, the unknown. These can be some of the greatest fears people face. There is a chance for a life of greater certainty that the Rome Rescue Mission provides. We call it a hand up, not a handout. The Rome Rescue Mission provides the basic necessities and the skills needed to start a new life. It starts simply with someone to talk to. Knowing that someone cares, the Rome Rescue Mission strives to meet basic needs, food, shelter, and clothing, but more importantly, provides emotional and spiritual support. The Rome Rescue Mission helps people start a new and promising life. Being in need is not a choice. Helping is. An unlimited future starts at the Rome Rescue Mission through your generous support. Make a difference and donate now. RomeMission.org. That's RomeMission.org. Rome Rescue Mission. A hand up, not a handout.
Poor Sam was a mess. Always itching, licking. His paws were soaking wet. He had bald spots on his back. DINOVITE.com. 2 weeks after he started Dynamite, I started seeing great improvements, and today 99% of his issues are non-existent. Dynamite is nutrition. Dynamite is the best thing you can do for your dog.
You won't believe how happy your dog will be.
I get my Dynamite from DINOVITE.com.
Hi, I'm Lynn from Warner Sales and Service. Winter in central New York can be pretty unpredictable. Snow, freezing temperatures, or hazardous road conditions. You never know what to expect. One thing you can count on, though, is that Warner Sales and Service is here to help you get through the toughest part of the year. That's why we sell and service Bobcat equipment. It's the toughest and most trusted equipment on the market. We pride ourselves on the quality of our product and, most importantly, the quality of our service. It's our job to keep your businesses up and running, and we strive to go above and beyond for each and every one of our customers. You never know what to expect during winter, but you can always depend on us at Warner Sales and Service. Stop by and see us just off Route 365 in Rome. We are Warner Sales and Service, where quality still counts.
Building relationships, building trust. Warner Sales and Service. Warner's, where quality still counts. At Warner's.
It's February. You know what that means. Love is in the air. That's right. Valentine's Day is Tuesday, February 14th, and the Old Wicker Mill is your one-stop shop for all your Valentine gifts. Valentine's Day is a day to express your love. This year, give a beautiful gift of distinction that will be enjoyed for years to come. Let's think out of the box. For your little Valentine, we have a fun toy department with Nido, Coco Melon, Bluey, and Minecraft toys. Maybe your Valentine loves gardening. The Old Wicker Mill has a huge garden department. There's Beekman Bath & Body, Lolita wine glasses, touch lamps, Nora Fleming, Dr. Squatch soap, a large women's clothing department, or your Vera Bradley headquarters, and of course we have traditional Valentine's gifts, cards, candy, and all the top jewelry brands like Pandora, Brighton, Swarovski, Ella Stein, Uno de 50, E. Newton, and so much more. So this Valentine's Day, express your love to all your Valentines with something special from the Old Wicker Mill located in the New Hartford Shopping Center, where everything we have is fun, functional, and affordable.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well,
Trying to find a needle in a haystack? Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ziprecruiter.com/free. That's ziprecruiter.com/free. ziprecruiter.com/free.
Home and Hospital Medical Supply in the new Hartford Shopping Center proudly carries a wide selection of home medical equipment. Lift chairs to buy or rent, canes, crutches, walkers, powered scooters, braces, foot care products, and so much more. And if for some reason they don't carry the product you need, they'll custom order it at no extra charge. Mary and her experienced team are there to assist you Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, or call them at 315-724-6767. Home and Hospital Medical Supplies. We make life easier.
From screen printing and embroidery to promotional products and online shops, it's all under one new roof at Max's Print Shop in Marcy. Order anytime and any quantity in person or online at maxsprintshop.com. Since 1978, we pride ourselves on personally meeting every customer's need. We can take your project from design to production. And remember, Max's Print Shop will stitch anything. And we mean anything in the Utica-Rome area. Find us at 9555 River Road in Marcy or online at maxsprintshop.com.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, what are you saying? You want to say?
Who, me?
You.
No, I appreciate you letting me keep bopping it with my questions there. I made a 10-minute segment 25 minutes, but I just couldn't let it go. You know, he kept throwing things out there, and I said, well, you know what? If you're going to ask the question, he just, you know, said a little something about it. You might as well follow up and go ahead and ask your question. You know, what I didn't get to ask him was, how did the city of Utica get a $14 million surplus, and what should they do with it? That's a lot of money. That's not a million. That's not 1.3 million.
Figure that out.
14 million.
Somebody says, did you ever see the movie Invasion of the Body Snatchers? I think it's actually happened because I don't think this is really Tim Julian. That's funny. I think Tim was a great mayor for Utica, but it did get, at some point he said I was, his words, I was attacking everybody at the end, and nobody liked me, and I do think that personality wise and everything going on, sometimes it's easy to you in your mind you know how things should go and you want to accomplish it. But sometimes there comes a certain point, I think, in life where we all learn, I got to look at the bigger picture first. And then when you look at somebody who's half your age and they're plowing forward and you try to give them the advice, hey, I've been there. You might want to, maybe you might want to do this, and this instead. Mm-hmm. And they're like, trust me, I know what I'm doing. It's like, okay, I know what you're doing too. But we don't look at people who have years on us as people who actually know better.
Right.
And I'm not talking about Tim. I'm really talking more about myself, I guess. But yeah, I think this version of Tim could be very good for this community.
Absolutely. So Lance and Lee was asking, please ask Mr. Julian if there's any chance of him running for county executive. We did get into that a little bit at the end. He said he's running for his legislative seat. We really need a legitimate alternative choice. This is from Lance. Maybe Palmieri, if not Tim. He also wanted to know who Mr. Julian was backing for mayor. I didn't get a chance to ask that question, but it's something we'll certainly
Lance
ask him
and
about
Lee
in the future.
Is no fan of County Executive Pisani.
Yeah, I wonder if it's
he's always very, very critical.
Establishment, or if it is establishment candidates, or if it's Pisani in particular. John in Rome taking a shot at you this morning, Bill. Go ahead.
And I just have to say on Pisani, it's he's going to be a tough person to run against. Everything that has been, when you look at his tenure, and I know Lance doesn't agree, but when you look at the accomplishments that have come out of this administration, this county executive, It's enormous. And some of it would not have happened if it not had been for the leadership of Pisani. You may not agree with what is done, but I'm all for saying this is how we're plowing forward, and I find a way to get it done. And look at where we are right now. Just the benefits of Griffiths, the benefits that are out at in Marcy and in the city of Utica are enormous and transformational. How do you say that Pisani didn't drive that, or wasn't a major force to drive that?
John in Rome taking a shot at you this morning. You were talking about having to use the hairdryer over the weekend, right?
Well, you got to have a use for it, right?
Yeah, well, he said it's probably the first time in years you've had to turn one on.
No doubt about it. Sometimes I'll use it to warm my feet, John. Pretty nice, those. They are pretty hot. No, I would say that it was my wife's hairdryer, but you're right. I had to ask her how to turn it on. No doubt. Tell you, the official coffee of the Keeler in the Morning radio program is Daylight Donuts in New Hartford. Chuck and everybody over at Daylight talk about that lightning fast drive-through, in and out, and you're on your way every day. That's a big deal because not every drive-through, when you're trying to get your coffee in the morning, is in and out. And it's Seattle's best, which is delicious coffee, fresh bagels, fresh donuts every single morning. Get a box of coffee for the workplace and try their lattes, up to 14 or 15 flavors. Very delicious at Daylight Donuts in New Hartford.
So, and I mentioned running out of gas this weekend on Saturday after Carter's basketball practice. And obviously, it was my own stupidity here, and it seems like the line temporarily froze up when we were at 14 below zero. But prior to that, as I was headed to Carter's little basketball get-together, I had stopped a place to get something because it was right down the road from where he practices. And I will tell you, I thought I was going to run out of gas because that drive-through was what is going on? Are we growing the beans for the coffee here, or what's going on? So,
and once you're in, you can't decide, this is taking too long, I'm going to get out. You're stuck there.
Right. So, Daylight Donuts does an outstanding job. It's a quick drive-through. They get you in and out, and the food is delicious. The coffee's great.
The word is you might be able to save a little bit as time goes on. We're talking about the potential of gas prices actually going down in 2023. Jeff Manasso with Fox News Radio has the story. Good morning, Jeff.
Hey, morning, guys. So industry experts say that used car prices could fall by as much as 20% this year. So that's some good news for consumers. New cars down by about 5% expected as the supply chain crisis eases some and demand stabilizes. That obviously leads to more vehicle inventory on the dealer lots, and the prices will come down. Though to get those deals, we're going to have to we're going to have to weigh our options. We're going to have to, the type of vehicle that we choose is going to matter. If we look at SUVs, still pretty popular. If we look at smaller cars with great gas mileage, obviously gas prices are high right now, and so people are flocking to smaller cars that are gas mileage. So those are in high demand. But if we look at vehicles, say like pickup trucks, not as fuel efficient pickup trucks, the deal could be better. But here's the problem with all of that, because while we might see some lowering of sticker prices, still record highs. I mean, the average new car, $49,000 now.
Well, that is really crazy.
Just a year or two ago, we were talking about it in the 30s for an average new car price. But Edmunds reports the average interest rate for a used car loan was over 10% in December, and that's where they're going to get you. So consumers could end up paying more for their total cost of their vehicle than before, just because of the high interest rates, and then of course gas prices. That's they're up and they're down, and they're up and they're down. And
what do you one of the big problems I think that I hear most often up here anyway is finding that vehicle. I've heard at least from 3 or 4 different people, they purchased a vehicle that they wanted, but they didn't see that vehicle for 3-4 months. It took that long for it to show up.
Yeah, or they purchased it. They had to go to a different state to purchase that vehicle. I mean, that's just supply and demand, and we've seen that playing out over the course of the last couple of years. So, there are a lot of auto buying websites and apps that can help you with those tools to be able to buy the vehicle that closely aligns with your wants and needs. But look, I mean, if you've got a car that's paid off, that's safe and comfortable, it might be the best vehicle to to drive right now.
Yeah.
By the way, the average auto loan, we're seeing 1 in 5 auto loans are now extending out to 84 months.
Wow.
So and defaults are going up on these things. So yeah, just beware.
Yeah.
I think that's 6 years.
Yeah, that's boy. And the other thing that was really interesting, you're going to start to see people have an issue with it, is during COVID, banks were very eager to reach out and say, "Hey, we'll give you 6 months of a free period where you don't have to pay your car loan." Now, that sounded really great maybe for some people who weren't working, and others who took advantage of it when they were working. The problem is you've now pushed that loan out 6 months, maybe even longer, and all of a sudden you're quickly upside down on that vehicle.
Well, I think most people who buy cars these days, who buy them, like if you're going to buy a car now, you're generally going to be upside down on it, specifically a used car with those high interest rates of 10%. And an 84-month loan on a vehicle that's 2, 3, 4 years old, I mean, you're instantly underwater, and that's why we're seeing defaults go up.
Yeah, you're right. Jeff Manasso, thanks for the great news. We appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Jeff Manasso with Fox News.
I also wonder, too, I'm not aware of this at the time, at this moment, but, we talk about this in New York that they're going to ban, like, you can't have in a new house, you can't have a gas stove, or you can't have a natural gas stove, or...
Well, I think that we're not quite there yet, but we're very close to that.
So I just
That's
wonder
part of the proposal.
if they're going to start imposing like a financial penalty if you don't have a hybrid or a vehicle that meets X miles per gallon, that they would start imposing penalties, or that there would be a financial benefit beyond the initial.
I don't know why they just don't let the market run this, because eventually it's all based on supply and demand. Eventually, what will happen as the hybrid vehicles and the electric vehicles start becoming more dependable, there's more of an infrastructure to support them, there's more demand, and less demand on the gas engines. I think that the prices will adjust, and you'll end up paying more for that anyway, without any surplus or without any regulations put forth by the state.
And this is how upside down the market is today, if you will. The 84 months I blurted out is 6 years. Former county legislator and former mayor Tim Julian correcting me, it's actually 7 years. So I don't even know how to do math anymore. It's a 7-year loan. But who gets that?
Stefan Rabitsky is. What are you doing there, Stefan? Good morning.
Well, hello, Bill.
Good morning. Well, hello, Stefan. All right. What are you? Was there another bank robbery over the weekend?
Friday.
Okay.
There was at about 9:30 a.m. downtown to Adirondack Bank, and the story is the robber fled on a city bus to Sangertown Mall.
Wow.
Now I called UPD Friday night to give them the possible times the bus could have left downtown for the mall, and suggested they check the bus's cameras because the bus has cameras, and it could have left downtown after that at 10 a.m., 10:15 a.m., or 10:30 a.m.
So I guess I didn't know this part of this story, that he took a city bus.
The guy allegedly robbed the bank.
It's a he, right? We're talking about a he.
And hopped on a bus.
So, Stefan, there are cameras on those buses, as you have said. Chances are they have a clear shot of this person then. And obviously they would in the bank, but when you're on the bus, you're maybe thinking you can let your guard down, whereas in the bank, you're trying to hide your identity.
True.
It wasn't you.
No, it was not. I heard it was a homeless. It could have been a homeless person, and he went to Sangertown maybe looking for food.
Maybe to spend the money.
Well, so here's the story from UPD, and Stephan, I appreciate the info, and I want to commend you for reaching out to the police and trying to assist in their investigation. We appreciate that, and I don't know, maybe we can do lunch soon, since you're helping the law instead of getting in trouble with the law. But here's from Utica Police. An investigation progressed. Information developed from several sources. It was established the suspect had spent the night and morning at the warming center on West Street prior to the robbery. From there, he proceeded to the bank and committed the act, but not before informing several people that he was going to rob a bank. Upon viewing multiple areas of surveillance footage, investigators matched the description of the party at the warming center to the individual who robbed the bank, having a positive identification, and they end up making the arrest. Now, when they stopped the suspect, arresting him without incident, they found that he had a large quantity of suspected cocaine on his person. Ultimately, Joseph Thompson, unknown address, age 37, charged with robbery in the third degree and 2 counts of criminal possession of a weapon. So it sounds like he went from allegedly being homeless to robbing the bank and buying like a bunch of cocaine.
Wow.
So I don't know if he's going to sell it, do it. It's just a kind of a bizarre story. And the fact that sounds like something you'd get out of one of these movies or that show Kaleidoscope.
Yeah.
Someone robs a bank, walks out, hops on a city bus.
Wow. Okay, Stephan, thank you for your efforts to try to help UPD out there.
Good job.
You're welcome.
All right.
Bye, Bill.
Bye now. Have a great day. Stephan doing his public duty out there.
Yes.
How about that? Listen, it's coming. Valentine's Day. Dun, dun, dun. It's coming. Artisanal premium cheese has just made Valentine's Day that much easier. Stop into 900 Oswego Street to pick up everything you need. If you're sitting there wondering, I've got the jewelry, I've got the flowers. Now what do I do? You just walk in the doors at Artisanal Premium Cheese in Hemstratz, and they have you covered. 900 Oswego Street. They're open 7 days a week, and they have an amazing, huge selection from around the world with amazing triple cream cheeses as well. Enjoy the luxurious cheeses and restaurant-quality breads and charcuterie from Italy, Spain, and France. Then you finish off the evening with Hemstratz Valentine's Half Moons. Available in both vanilla and chocolate bottoms. Sounds like the perfect Valentine's. It's artisanal premium cheese. Open 7 days a week. And remember, they ship anywhere and everywhere. Open 7 days a week. 900 Oswego Street in Utica.
We invest in Herkimer and Oneida counties. We work with the community to make things better for old and young alike. Today, tomorrow, and in the years to come. Every day, we put the community's long-term savings to work. Who are we? We are the Community Foundation of Herkimer and Oneida counties. FoundationHOC.org. We're your community foundation, working to build a vibrant region with opportunity for all.
Years ago, my mother had a problem with her heating. She was charged almost $200 just to change a battery. I'm Jen, and at Standard Heating, Cooling, and Insulating, we won't do that. Standard developed our free service program. If we can fix it in under an hour and no parts are needed, it's completely free. Half of our service calls are free because they are easy fixes. Our experienced technicians are the best in the business and are ready to help you. Standard Heating, Cooling, and Insulating. We promise to save you money. Call us today at 315-859-6292.
Adirondack Home Furniture's Flex Steel Big Game Sale is going on now, but only for a limited time. Hurry in for discounts up to 15% off select sofas, recliners, occasional pieces, and leather furniture. With hundreds of designer fabrics to choose from, your new piece is guaranteed to have the look you want. Stop dreaming and start creating the home of your dreams with quality, long-lasting Flex Steel furniture from Adirondack Home Furniture. Beauty and comfort is made to last with Flex Steel's exclusive lifetime warranty blue steel spring seating. Stop into Adirondack Home Furniture today and save up to 15% during their big game sale. Visit their Flex Steel gallery for the best selection of Flex Steel furniture on sale. The best value and top quality furniture for your home is at Adirondack Home Furniture. You don't want to miss out on the Flex Steel big game sale at Adirondack Home Furniture. Hurry in, sale ends soon. Located at the former Riverside Mall, Horatio Street, Utica.
Poor Sam was a mess. Always itching, licking. His paws were soaking wet. He had bald spots on his back. DINOVITE.com. 2 weeks after he started Dynamite, I started seeing great improvements, and today 99% of his issues are non-existent. Dynavite is nutrition. Dynavite is the best thing you can do for your dog.
You won't believe how happy your dog will be.
I get my Dynavite from DINOVITE.com.
Nice catch. Mostly cloudy skies, 32 degrees. WIBX news time is 8:33. An earthquake this morning in western New York. According to reports, it was a 3.8 magnitude earthquake hitting near West Seneca, New York, with rumbles as felt as far north as Niagara Falls. No injuries reported as of yet, but the Erie County executive said when he awoke this morning thinking a car had crashed into his home. That's how violent the shakes were. Meanwhile, President Biden is offering assistance after a devastating earthquake in Turkey, leaving over 1,500 dead there and in neighboring Syria. A powerful magnitude 7.8 earthquake was first to hit south-central Turkey, with another magnitude 7.5 quake adding to the devastation hours later. U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan says President Biden has directed USAID to assess all of the possible response options. The 104th Fighter Wing from the airport in Massachusetts reportedly assisted in the shooting down of a suspected Chinese spy balloon off the coast of the Carolinas over the weekend. The commander of the Massachusetts Air National Guard unit says 2 F-15 fighter jets were launched for the effort. However, he didn't specify how they were used. The 65th Annual Grammy Awards are a wrap. Harry Styles walked away with the biggest award of the night, taking home Album of the Year in a stacked category, beating out Beyoncé, Adele, Bad Bunny, and others. Also, Beyoncé did make history, becoming the artist with the most Grammy wins of all time. There's a New York City Council hearing this morning over Mayor Eric Adams' mental health plan. The council will hear from several agencies involved connected to training for the health plan. The mayor's plan is for city workers to take anyone experiencing a mental health crisis to the hospital for evaluation, even if they refuse that assistance. Super Bowl festivities kick off today at the Footprint Center in Phoenix, Arizona. Hundreds of media members will interview players and coaches from the Kansas City Chiefs and Philadelphia Eagles. It's the only time the two teams will be together in one place prior to taking the field on Sunday for Super Bowl 57. And at least $747 million will be up for grabs tonight. That's what the current estimated jackpot is for the multi-state Powerball lottery. No one has won the game's top prize since back in November. It's $2 a ticket, and the drawing is streamed online at Powerball.com. Your WIBX Weather Center forecast. Boy, it's quite a difference what we're experiencing today than what we dealt with on Friday and certainly early Saturday morning. Right now, mostly cloudy skies, maybe some light rain depending on your location, and 32 degrees. We do have a slight chance of rain and snow showers, possibly before 10 a.m. Cloudy, then becoming gradually mostly sunny by this afternoon, a high of 35 degrees. Partly cloudy skies through the overnight tonight, a low of 18. Chance of rain showers Tuesday, a high of 41. Wednesday, a chance of rain and snow showers early. Then rain showers later in the day with a high of 36, up into the mid-40s again by Thursday. Right now, cloudy, 32 degrees. It is 8:37.
Can I add a little something here? Mike this morning said, do you think we could use the same technology they were using with these diapers? So we talked about it earlier, right? The diapers have a technology in them so that when the baby wets into the diaper, an alarm goes off and it triggers your phone.
Yeah, so mom and dad can put the video game down and then go change
Correct.
the diaper.
Yeah,
right?
this is,
right.
I mean, I always thought there was an alarm, and that's the kid starts crying.
Right.
Just let him cry. But Mike says, do you think they can use the same technology they're using with those diapers that gives an alarm for Jeff when he spills his coffee? or even to wake up in the morning? I mean,
well, the alarm doesn't work. I can tell you that much. I can 100% tell you that much. But with the coffee, everybody knows it. First of all, they see it streaming on YouTube. You usually hear a for me, something, a grunt, a moan, a curse word occasionally.
I almost lost an entire can of soda here just a few minutes ago, but I made an amazing catch on the bounce.
It was nice.
Yeah, pretty good. Did you see that, Davey? Impressive, wasn't it?
Sure was.
Wow. Boeheim would have loved it, I really think. Okay, got a break. Cold tight. Coming right back. We'll talk about an upcoming golf classic. Are we talking about a golf tournament already?
A gala, the Golf Classic Gala.
Golf Classic Gala.
Yes, the golf tournament's coming up this summer, but in between,
They're doing a gala before.
A fun event, yeah.
I just thought we were wishful thinking into March, like it's going to be, we'll be back on the course in March. Hold on tight, 8:38 at WIBX.
It's finally here. It's the big game, and you know what that means. It's big party time. Time to gather with your friends around the big screen to cheer on your favorite team or to drink to yours not in the game. Throw a big game party the right way with Marcy Discount Beverage, your headquarters for beer and soda. Marcy Discount Beverage has the largest selection of craft beer and imports in the area. Row after row of exciting varieties to try. And Marcy has the best prices in all your favorites. Domestic, imports, or craft brews. Kegs too. Half kegs and quarter kegs of all the best beers. Marcy's Discount Beverage is a beer lover's paradise with everything you need for a great big game day celebration. Soda mixers, seltzers, hard lemonades, and teas. They really are your game day beverage headquarters. Find the biggest selection all under one roof. Fully stocked all the time. Marcy Discount Beverage, River Road in Marcy, open Monday through Saturday, 9 to 8, and Sunday from 11 to 5. Marcy Discount Beverage, your big game day headquarters for beer, soda, and football fun.
Adam and Grace finally made it to retirement. They decided this was their time. They drove in from Herkimer to Mattress Express in New Hartford on Commercial Drive in the Hannaford Plaza next to Red Lobster. They wanted to see the number bed they'd heard so much about. Adam had a bad back. He liked his side firm. We elevated his head, his feet, put the massage on medium. He said he hadn't felt that comfort in years. Grace liked her side softer. She was a 24. She had her head elevated slightly less, her feet a little higher, and the massage on high. They were thrilled to find out it had a 25-year industry-leading warranty. They qualified and signed up for the 5 years, no interest, no money down, so they didn't have to wait for their tax return. For their luxury reward, they chose a 65-inch flat-screen TV. They laid on the Purple and the Puffy, the big online brands while they were there, but the number bed was for them. Call 1-800-NEW-BEDS or go to mattressexpressny.com or visit any store.
Well, here we go into February, and Ricky Z is ready for you, whether it's a brand new a brand new Mazda or a pre-owned vehicle, a pre-owned Mazda. They're completely certified, tested, and ready to go. And you walk through the doors at their brand new facility and just say, Ricky Z, let's make that deal. And Rick will be ready for you, and so will everybody else at Steep Pawnee Mazda. Their Season of Inspiration sales event continues as we go into 2023, and they want to thank everybody for trusting them with their car buying and servicing needs. And the beauty in the wintertime is no matter how blustery it is outside, you drive your vehicle right inside, the garage door comes down, you go sit into the lounge area, and they take care of your vehicle. Everything is done. The dealership, Steep Pawnee Mazda, truly values and respects and appreciates every single customer. So if you're thinking of a new vehicle or a pre-owned vehicle in 2023, think of your friends at the family-owned and operated Steep Pawnee Mazda on Commercial Drive in Yorkville. Now, recently we did a little test on the complete streets. Jeff, this was very scientific. So I took my the vehicle that I got from Ricky Z, I took it down and decided let's just drive right across the Genesee Street area, right, and really give the whole complete streets a test. And you're never going to believe what happened. Here's the story.
While driving in my CX-9 by the Stanley on Genesee, a guy in the bike lane with a shopping cart pushing scrap metal right by me. The guy looked rough, but he was moving fast as he kept on tuning his horn. A Chicago market shopping cart dated 1984. Beep, 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 beep. His horn went beep, beep, beep. I pushed my foot down to the floor. Johnny Rocket in my wake. The complete street reduced to a single lane. And now I was forced to brake. He pushed that yellow cart past me as he kept up his horn play. I'll show him this complete street mess gives me the right of way. Beep, 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 beep. His horn went beep, beep, beep. My car went into passing gear like Ricky's he said it would. Now this race is just not fair, his downfall understood. But when I peeked in the rearview mirror, I could not believe my eyes. The grocery cart was right behind, I'm gasping with surprise. Beep, 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 beep. His horn went beep, beep, beep. Now we're doing about 55, I made a second lane. The shopping cart going right past me is messing with my brain. This guy must have been about 75, sucking on a bottle of gin. I'll show him that these complete streets are not for guys like him. Beep, 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 beep. His horn went beep, beep, beep. Now we're doing about 95, his car began to smoke. He still pulled right up next to me as if we're going slow. I rolled on the window and he yelled at me just so I could hear. Hey Keeler, I'm just wondering, can you spare a beer? Can you spare a beer?
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. Some things going on this week. The Comets will host Hershey on Friday night at the Adirondack Bank Center. Pioneers are on the road after this past weekend, after the games this weekend. We'll also tell you Broadway Utica is operating at the Stanley this Friday and Saturday, 1776, the musical. And then we mentioned Syracuse at Florida State, 7 p.m. on Wednesday, right?
Right.
And that is what? On ESPN2.
ESPN2. And then Saturday night is the big game against Duke.
Oh, that's Saturday. Boy, that doesn't have the same...
It used to be the big game against Duke.
It used to be, right? It was a big deal.
I think Joey's a Duke fan. Am I right about that?
Yeah. A good game.
All right, just don't touch that mic. It has come out of its engineering marvel.
This was the microphone that Bill took with him to record that parody song as he rode down Genesee Street.
Going so slowly and then really fast. Pulled the screws right out of the whole thing. Mm-hmm. Terrible. Okay, guys, in studio right now is Rock and Joey. Carnaccia and Cracciolo.
You did very well.
Very good.
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's
That was
easy
good.
in Utica Italian. Everybody knows Italian, right?
Practice, I'm sure.
That's right. All right, gentlemen, nice and close to the mics if you could. Let's talk about the East Utica Classic. And this is the gala you're going to do before we get even to the end of the golfing.
Yeah, absolutely. We're doing it at Hotel Utica on May 6th. We're going to have a great showing. Tickets are already going in like crazy.
Nice.
So many of our sponsors are donating. It's great. It really is so far.
So talk about the history of the East Utica Classic. Who wants to get into that?
Start about it, Rock.
Let's see. It started in 2011.
Yep.
Just conversation at the bar, Paul's Pub. Me and Joey were just thinking about how we could, do something for our community and give back a little bit.
By the way, that's where all conversations begin, at the bar.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
I feel all good conversations.
It was a good conversation. My family ran a charity golf tournament growing up, so
Yeah.
I had a little bit of experience.
Okay.
And Joey had the motivation, and just kind of went from there. Can't believe how far we've come in 12 years, but
and each
we're
year,
here.
Each year you pick a different recipient. Right?
Absolutely. We try to look for kids in the area that are going through some type of medical difficulty first. And then we have second beneficiaries and third where we will choose adults and stuff like that.
Do people submit to you guys? Or
Absolutely. We have a website, it's euclassic.com, where you can
see.
write up something and tell us your story.
Okay, so before we get to the gala, because does the gala benefit the charity as well?
This gala is special. One of our
Okay.
close friends, it's Nicole Koza. She's very well known in this community. She has a
Yeah.
beautiful bakery, Holy Pozzoli, and she's dealing with some stuff going on right now.
Okay.
All money raised is directly going to go to her. And we're
Will
trying
that
to
be the golf tournament and the gala?
Nope, just
okay.
the gala.
Just the gala.
Like, this one
Okay.
is specifically for her.
Understood.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's talk about what we're going to do.
I was going to say, many people in the community will know Nicole. She's actually been a guest on this program a couple of times. She was in talking about, I apologize, I can't remember which organization she worked for, but talking about addiction in the community. And this is when fentanyl was really on the rise, or a new thing. So it's going back a few years. But yeah, obviously, as you said, very well known. And details, it's coming up in May.
So on our website, we have everything you can possibly want to sponsor. A lot of things are actually selling out. So if you are interested, please go on there sooner than later. We actually just booked Gridley Page, so they'll be playing, and
Nice.
we have a DJ as well for the event. Honestly, it's going to sell out. We're going to have 250, 300 people here.
Nice.
It's going to
nice.
be a great event, and I'm hoping that we could raise $20,000, $30,000 easily for this.
So if you go to the website, there are all different opportunities for businesses and people to sponsor.
Food stations, carving stations, hors d'oeuvres, entertainment, step and repeats, red carpet upon entries with champagne. We have
Okay.
so many different things and options for people.
And if businesses have their own idea on how they want to get involved, I mean, we're all ears. you
Okay,
know.
all right.
We would never say no to anyone who wanted to help and get
Okay.
involved in any way.
And believe it or not, these guys clean up. I mean, this is a classy black tie event. Very nice. You know, you bring, this isn't like golf tournament. You show up with a polo shirt and, you know, you have through a few beers. That'll
Well, I
come
thought-
later.
I now understand about the cleaning up. I thought they stay around at the end and they clean things up. I get it. So
Jeff
you guys
actually volunteered to do that this year.
you guys dress up and you dress up well. So
Oh,
okay.
yeah, it's dressed to impress. Everyone looks great.
Yeah.
And it's honestly, it's just a really great time.
Nice.
One thing we try to definitely do is go above and beyond now. If you're going to sponsor and do something, we want to make sure you want to come back. I want
Right,
to make sure
right.
you want to keep doing this. So we throw an exceptional time as well.
Okay.
Word of mouth is our best advertisement. So we want everyone to leave saying, oh, my God, what a great time we
Yeah,
had. We
let's-
can't wait to come back.
Okay.
And on that note, if I can say, seeing this event, obviously I grew up with these guys, and seeing this event come from really nothing to what it is today, and the fact that, like, we were all going to get together and have a golf tournament and have a good time anyway,
Yeah.
but the fact that you guys found a way to direct this to help people that we know, kids, you mentioned Nicole is the beneficiary of the gala. Hats off, man. It is so awesome what you guys do.
Well, honestly, we have 3 other committee members, Anthony Ficcioli, Brian Stamboli, and John Goff. We honestly couldn't do it without them as well.
We all play a really important and intricate part. And
Yeah.
honestly, without all 5 of us,
Yeah.
I couldn't see it running as smooth as it does.
All right. The date is of the gala.
May 6th,
Okay.
7 to 11. Please buy
Hotel
tickets.
Utica.
Hotel Utica.
So a good time now to get on the website, which is
euclassic.com. We take Venmo, we take credit card. You could write us a check, or we'll come to your house and take your cash if you want us to.
And then
Awesome,
take the
guys.
city bus home. That seems to be the way we take cash these
Preferred
days.
travel. If you're
Yeah.
robbing a bank
Yeah.
or whatever, you just take the city bus.
All right, gentlemen, nice job. Congratulations on what you're doing. Thank you.
Thanks for having
Thank
us.
you for having us.
Certainly makes a difference. We'll wrap it up here for Monday morning. Coming right up, 8:51 at WIBX.
Uncertainty, the unknown. These can be some of the greatest fears people face. There is a chance for a life of greater certainty that the Rome Rescue Mission provides. We call it a hand up, not a handout. The Rome Rescue Mission provides the basic necessities and the skills needed to start a new life. It starts simply with someone to talk to. Knowing that someone cares, the Rome Rescue Mission strives to meet basic needs, food, shelter, and clothing, but more importantly, provides emotional and spiritual support. The Rome Rescue Mission helps people start a new and promising life. Being in need is not a choice, helping is. An unlimited future starts at the Rome Rescue Mission through your generous support. Make a difference and donate now. RomeMission.org. That's RomeMission.org. Rome Rescue Mission. A hand up, not a handout.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Paid for by Pharmavide.
Did you know estrogen decline can begin for women as early as 40 years old? This can lead to a number of symptoms associated with menopause, like hot flashes, mood changes, sleep disruption, and more. Equell can help. Equel is the only supplement made with S-Equol, a naturally derived plant-based ingredient that relieves symptoms of estrogen decline. In clinical trials, women taking Equel experienced 5 fewer hot flashes per day, 50 more minutes of sleep per night, alleviated mood swings, and more. Not sure if you're experiencing symptoms of estrogen decline? Reach out to Equel's customer support team for help navigating your symptoms. You can try Equel risk-free for 90 days with Equel's 90-day money-back guarantee. Get the support you need with Equel. For more information and to get 20% off your first order, go to equel.com/news. That's EQUELLE.com/news for 20% off. equel.com/news.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
It's 8:54, and here we go with Super Bowl week. And I just, by the way, Davey, I'm hearing a lot of people say Duke is not this weekend.
Right. It's next Saturday.
It's next weekend. But I don't think there's going to be any big Syracuse-Duke game that breaks the record.
No.
I don't think they're going down that road this year.
Yeah, for ticket prices or attendance. I mean, if you think back, I don't know, I want to say 3-4 years, but I'm not great with time. But, I mean, do you remember Duke was coming to Syracuse, and it might have been the year they tried to set the record or the year after. But, like, third-level tickets were going for several $100, couple $100 for, like, $40
How about
tickets.
this past weekend, Duke and North Carolina played against each other, and they weren't even ranked in the top 25.
Yeah. What's going on? Craziness. UPS drivers getting credit for saving a 76-year-old woman's life when she fell into a creek in her backyard in freezing temperatures.
Wow.
He pulled her out while delivering a package to her home. Here's the UPS driver, Patrick Shore, and Marianne Rott talking about exactly what happened on that very cold day.
Kind of put my arms under her and cradled her and said, okay, baby, let's go. And up we went. I don't know anyone at one time or another does not need help for something.
Another 10 minutes and I would have been a goner.
She's not just a customer now. She's also a friend.
Wow.
And his girlfriend, I think. She said, hold on, baby.
Yeah, come on over here. I like brown. So the story of the dog. Did they find the dog while we were on the air last week, or did it happen after we got off the air?
I think it was in the afternoon.
They found it Friday afternoon.
Okay. So I have a story about that. You know, and I talked to some friends down there. My friend Tony said I was on my way out, and my wife is like, you're not going out there. And so they see the story on TV Thursday night. And all these people went out because that's where the temperature is going to take a dive, right?
Yeah.
So all these people go out, and they start searching for the dog. People down in Herkimer County. So it's the dog that was dropped off by somebody who's probably going to be in a lot of trouble for abandonment, which is against the law. And they the guy drops the dog off. We believe it's a guy. Drops the dog off at the Humane Society in the parking lot after hours. And the dog wanders around. You see the dog go right across 5S. Turns out the dog shortly thereafter was hit by a car. And then what?
It went down into a trail across from the Humane Society.
Right. So
that's where they found it, two volunteers.
So there's the Humane Society, then 5S, and then there's a rest area over there, and it goes off, and there's a trail, that whole long trail that goes along the canal. And then there's the canal. So the dog was not going to be able to get that far on that side of the road unless he went down through the trail. Sooner or later, they ended up finding the dog on Friday afternoon, as you guys said. But here's my story. So there is a man who, I'm not going to give any names, but he's older, an older gentleman, well into his 70s, who is struggling a bit health-wise, actually uses a cane. He was so moved by the story of the dog that after like 11 o'clock at night or whenever that story broke, he went out to find the dog.
Oh, boy.
So at the very least, it was after dark. Because you can see it was dark when the person dropped the dog off in the first place. So he went out and began searching, found an area where he thought the dog might have gone, went down through the snow, down into a bit of a ravine, got down inside there, became so exhausted that he couldn't get out.
No.
He did not have the strength to climb back up the hill. He tried doing it, couldn't do it. So he said he decided he would lay down just for a second. Now, keep in mind, the wind is beginning to blow. The temperatures are coming down. He decided to lay down to regain his strength, and he fell asleep. This is a true story. He fell asleep lying there. So 2 young guys who were also out looking for the dog came upon him, woke him up, and helped him out.
Wow.
Had they not been there, that man surely would have died.
Yeah,
would have frozen to
I
death.
thought that's where you were going.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I mean, that's a close call. And it led my wife to immediately say, that'd have been you. And I would have been, don't be such an idiot. You're not going out there. But it's hard, right? You feel like you have to do something.
Right.
And there people, I think, are so, you're thinking about all those cold temperatures, sub-zero temperatures that are coming. People love animals so much they would do anything in the world to help save an animal. And there were a lot of people who were out searching for that dog in the middle of the night in Herkimer County. Crazy.
I'm glad they found the gentleman who went out and looked, because you're right. That would have been a bad ending.
That would have been a bad ending of the whole thing. So, all right. Well, listen, that's it. We're back here tomorrow morning.
Send us off on a happy note, Bill.
It is a
Good
positive
job.
story, a positive story. Enjoy your day. We're back tomorrow morning on WIBX.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX 950 Utica Rome, W295DI Utica Rome, your news, talk, and sports leader, a Town Square media station.
They keep finding more bodies. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, and the earthquake rubble in Turkey and across the border in Syria. As crews search for anyone still trapped alive, the 7.8 magnitude quake hit as people slept at 4 a.m. At least 1,900 are dead, more than 9,000 injured.
This is the moment a 7-story building collapsed in the Turkish district of Haliliye. Southern Turkey and northern Syria are worst affected. Rescue workers are searching through giant piles of concrete and tangled metal. The quake struck a region packed with refugees displaced by Syria's civil war.
Well, as Fox's Jonathan Savage, people were also shaken awake in the Buffalo, New York area this morning. A smaller 3.8 magnitude quake lasted a few seconds, was felt over a 30-mile radius, but so far no significant damage reported. They're waiting for something bad to happen in Ohio, about 50 miles away from Pittsburgh.
People who live within a mile of a train derailment in East Palestine, Ohio, are being told to evacuate as local officials are worried that one of the cars could explode. The derailment happened late Friday, and fires from it continued to burn through the weekend. A local high school gym has been turned into a shelter, and the Red Cross is helping those who have been displaced.
Fox's Tanya J. Powers says Navy divers keep recovering pieces of that Chinese spy balloon shot down off the South Carolina coast Saturday. China's warning of repercussions, saying the U.S. overreacted. Republicans say President Biden waited too long after the balloon went over a handful of military bases. Congressman Brian Mast tells Fox
it takes clearer images than what you're going to get out of a satellite spy capability. That's why that matters. That's why it matters for it to be going over the bulk of the United States of America.
Biden administration officials claim several Chinese balloons briefly flew over the U.S. in the Trump era, but weren't detected till after that administration was out of office, which ex-Trump officials call disinformation. America's listening to Fox News.
How far will the left go to win 2024? Will they send out more stimulus checks, pass more student loan bailouts, or give away trillions more to left-wing groups? The simple truth is they don't care if your retirement is eroded down to a fraction of its value. They just want to win. Hi, Stephen K. Bannon. I want to encourage you to diversify your 401k or IRA out of paper assets and into a physical gold IRA. And the only company I recommend for gold IRAs is conservative-owned Birch Gold Group. To learn more, text the word PROTECT to 989898 to get their free info kit on gold IRAs. Do this now before Democrats have a chance to legislate away your life savings. Get your free info kit on gold IRAs by texting PROTECT to the number 989898. There's nothing to buy and no obligation at all. So use your agency. Take action now. Text the word PROTECT to the number 989898.
Milk, eggs, $42. Ma'am?
You okay?
Need bucks? With Jackson Hewitt, don't wait weeks for the IRS to send your tax refund. Come in now for up to $3,500 with a no-interest, no-fee refund advance loan when you file your taxes. That's up to $3,500 today. Don't let high prices get you down. When every dollar matters, it matters who does your taxes. So get to Jackson Hewitt today. For eligible clients, loans by Republic Bank and Trust Company. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
I studied Spanish in college and never got fluent. But then I tried Babbel.
Want the most effective way to learn another language? In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel's bite-sized lessons will have you learning another language in as little as 3 weeks.
Babbel gets you speaking quickly about things you actually talk about in the real world.
University studies have shown that using Babbel for 15 hours is equivalent to a semester of college Spanish. If you want to learn a new language, there's no better way than Babbel. Go to Babbel.com to try Babbel for free. That's BABBEL.com.
I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I've told you about how your nose is the body's air filter, that Navage's powered suction will help flush out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs, and that Navage will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navage? Like Josh, quote, "After walking around my whole life being a mouth breather, I was excited to try Navage. I read the directions carefully, pressed the button, and oh my gosh, what a sensation. So much mucus, so much crud, but oh sweet, merciful air, I can finally breathe you through my nose. Never have I ever taken such an amazing breath in my life. This is a life changer," unquote. He's one of over 100,000 online reviews praising Navage, the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million people to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Rite Aid, and online. Navage, Navage, clean nose, healthy life.
Let's face it, credit cards are pretty much a necessity.
New tires for the car? Here's my card.
I order takeout, here's my card. And most of us just accept the high interest rates credit cards charge as